Good shapes, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Rollplay. Verona, I believe this is episode number 13, and I am so glad we are all here to go on a science fiction adventure together.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Good morning. Thank you for dragging yourselves out of bed and or whatever stupor you were in prior to the show and joining us here today. Vana, I want to start today's pre-show with you so that maybe we can get your madness out of the way. JB called me out during the pre-show of Court of Swords. He said, he was like, Adam, I need to tell you, the pre-show for Verona it's a lot. And I mean, I saw a bus coming and I just grabbed you and I threw you under it. So it's your responsibility. So I saw you doing some VO stuff yesterday. Tell
we're
me
just
about
gonna
that.
gloss over this.
We're just gonna skip right over that bit. Yeah.
Okay,
I just wanted
Adam,
you to know you're responsible.
it feels like you're holding me wholly responsible for something that is too much. Is that am I deciphering this correctly?
Yeah, right. This is your fault. Moving on. Well, no, it's not a bad thing. It makes for good pre-show. It's just when I look back and I think about all the times we've ended up having conversations about completely ludicrous things, there's a source for those conversations, and her name is Vana. So, congratulations, or stop it. I don't know, both.
I think it's Mark. So
that's fair.
I think,
he is.
I think
the worst.
his John Wayne accents trigger a response in normal, calm human beings that turns them into, just ludicrous beasts. Yeah.
Do it, Mark. Do it.
Well, I don't know about that, little lady. I take my headphones off for 1 second.
See? It's definitely Mark. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I do approve of blaming Mark when he had his headphones off, though. That was a nice moment. Thank you for that.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice.
Good.
Jeez.
Didn't even notice.
Yep. The Verona pre-show, where the most important thing is loyalty. Loyalty to one another and never making anybody look bad. Yeah.
You started it.
That's true. It is sort of my job to start it. So fair enough. So yeah, tell me about this thing. I saw a bunch of clips of you doing the voiceover thing yesterday. This is for a video game, right?
Yeah, it's Cook Serve Delicious 3, which is going to be out, I believe, by the end of the month. And we had already done, it's me and Nega Oryx are the voices in it, and we had already done some individual recording on our own and sent in a bunch of VO stuff, but there was a bunch of scenes where we had them together, like having a conversation between our two characters. So we went in the booth yesterday for 8-9 hours. Something wild, and just recorded all of those because the creator of the game was in town. He doesn't live here, and then one of the writers from Australia was in town, so they were like, let's just all get together and hunker down and bust it out, and it was really fun. But now my voice is back to some Raggedy Ann shit. So
I was say, yeah, Haley just smoked 6 or 7 packs of cigarettes between last episode and this one. It's fine.
He probably does smoke. Like, let's be.
Hey, what are you looking at?
Was Haley a goblin now, or I don't?
Yeah. I mean,
Haley's always been a goblin.
Yeah.
Fair. Yes. If this were a fantasy game, Haley would definitely be a goblin. 9 hours though, like Jesus, it's got to be hard to stay consistent throughout that, right? Like, because I imagine you're getting kind of loopy by the end. Do they structure it in a particular way to like give you the harder stuff at the beginning, or like?
No, none of us knew what we were doing, so
good, excellent.
It was all guesswork. It's like the first time they've had dialogue in their games, like VO in their games. It was, I think, Negs and I's both first like official VO work. And it was the guy recording us. He said it was his first time working in that booth. It was just like
nice.
It was just like a bunch of fresh, blood-covered babies wiggling around in a small room trying to do their best.
My mental image of the entire situation changed dramatically right at the end of that story. So
it's Mark's fault.
Always
I think.
is. Always
Yeah,
is.
I think I can get behind a campaign where we just blame Mark for everything. Everybody else on board for that? You feel good about that? Okay, good. Least likely to fight back. Perfect. I'm into it.
But yeah, coming out at the end of the month, everybody should definitely check it out. I think it's gonna be really fun. We had a really good time. But the last hour, they were like, okay, let's just improvise some things, and both Negs and I's brains were just fried. So it was just. I don't think any of that's making it in the game because it was all very dark and nonsensical and twisted. So
I really like blooper reels. Like I lament the fact that we no longer have DVDs because we don't. I mean, I guess some people still buy DVDs and Blu-rays, but I lament the loss of the blooper reel and the director's commentary. I miss them so much, and I love when people post on YouTube or Twitter or whatever, like VO bloopers or show bloopers. They're always so funny, and I miss them. I think they're great.
I feel
so it's nice having that
like
content.
if you stream, it's just one long blooper reel.
Yeah. Yes.
True.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. Where you're like, there's some good content in here somewhere, but we have no editor. So
most of it's blooper reel. The extra DVD content is the movie.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. No, that's good. Well, that's cool. That's fun. Mark, besides, I guess, everything being your fault, how have you been? How's jolly old England?
I have been fine, Adam. I have been mostly doing various streams and content and making YouTube material. I do not wish to take up more of this pre-show, so we should move on.
Good. Nice.
Therefore, it cannot be my fault.
Very restrained. I like it. Thank you.
Already did the John Wayne accent, so it's too late.
All right.
Actually, Mark, if you want to go, we're good. I think. Thanks.
Yeah,
you got your bit. Yeah, you're okay. Thanks for coming. Yep, good. That's all we needed from Mark. Well, moving right along. Elspeth, you were talking about you're talking a bit about Civ in the pre-show. You're still on that world domination game.
Still on Civ. That really hasn't been like a new thing. I've been having some internet issues actually. So like a couple days ago, it was one of those streams where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so ready to start playing this new game called Endless Legend. And Octopimp was like, I'm gonna show you the ropes of Endless Legend. It'll be great. And my internet just started like just dying on me. So I was like, cool. Well, I guess it's back to Civ while I figure out what the hell's going on with my internet. But yeah, so Civ has been really good. I've really been into like world building, society building games for some reason. Like that has been my jam. And I think it's because you can only stream fast-paced games for so long before you start to get really burnt out on them. And it's like, I need to fucking slow down. I need to like have some game that I can play and just my mind can relax while I interact with people, because that honestly, that gets to me sometimes. I'm just like, okay, I can't do Overwatch or COD anymore. I've really got to like focus on something that is real relaxed, and Civilization is really, really good for that. I mean, you do have to have a strategy going in, but at the same time, you're just like, well, I can take my time with it. You don't have to be like rush, rush, rush. So I think that's why I'm gravitating towards it so much. Like in my, almost 6th year of streaming, I'm just like, yeah, let's do something that makes it real easy on these old bones. Cause this stuff's starting to get a little quick for me. You know what I mean? So it's good time.
No, go ahead, Vana.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I was watching you play Civ the other day, Elspeth, and calm is not the word I would use to describe.
I'll get upset. Like I will use a lot of energy to get angry at another Civ that's trying to attack me. So
no, but I like the way you. I guess I'm referencing like watching you play it. I'm like, she's so smart and like. I can see your synapses like firing because you're like voicing everything. You're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna go over here, and then I'm gonna do this, and then okay, where's this guy? What are you doing over here? Like it's like 100 words per second, and it's like you can see the brain. It's that GIF where the brain is like exploding with lights and color. Like that's watching you play Civ. I'm like,
well,
this is
there's so much going on with Civ that it's really, really easy to stay connected with people. I read this thing at some point in my life where it was like, if you have nothing to say, just talk about what you're doing on stream. Just give like a freaking grocery list of what you're going to do, what you're planning on doing. So that's basically what I just do with Civ. And since there's so much going on at once, it is very easy to just say what you're freaking doing. I mean, it's it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna keep going down the list, and that'll be my talking point for today.
But
And then a lot of people,
but it's
yeah,
impressive. If I did that, it would be me going, well, I'm gonna scout, I guess.
I'm gonna move this man.
This man,
But your
now.
commentary is like, yeah.
And oh look, he's done the thing. Wow, bless him.
I kind of love that as a concept. Like, if you can't think of what to say, just say what you're doing, but
Yeah.
you have to be doing something interesting and know how to make it sound interesting, because otherwise it's like, well,
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and move the old mouse over here, and I think we'll left
We're going
click on
across
this
my
guy.
screen now. There
Go
it
ahead and
goes.
use the left mouse button, and we're just gonna drag. Yeah, we're dragging. There we go. And we've
I'm gonna
selected
take a
the unit.
moment to ruminate on why my wife left me. Okay, back to the game.
Oh boy.
And it looks like my civilization's capital, just like the rest of my life, has collapsed. Just gonna go ahead and turn the camera off for a minute. We'll see you guys after the break. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
TLDR, Elspeth, you are super smart and entertaining, and bless your sweet soul.
Well, thanks a bunch, dude. I appreciate it. That's very nice of you, because I feel like a dipshit sometimes when I'm streaming and I do the wrong thing, and chat's like, "What is wrong with you? How could you possibly do
How
this?"
could you do it?
Listen, I'm trying
Heck
real
them.
hard.
Heck them.
Micromanagement's tough. But we're doing it. We out here.
Do you
So, yeah.
have a favorite? Do you have a favorite civilization, Elspeth?
So I've actually only played 2 of the Civilization series. I played Civilization 2, which was when I started off with, and then Civ 5, which I recently started. I want to say the first time I played it was like August or September, and now I've logged almost 300 hours in Civ 5 alone. And that's like, I mean, that's I guess it's impressive, but when you look at it, it's not, because it's like I've spent a lot of time just trying to learn the game and playing the game, and like even if in my off hours when I'm not streaming, I'll be playing Civ just because I really want to get good at
Get better.
yeah, I want to get better. I want to get better at the strategy of it. So I played a fuck ton of Civ 5 in like the last 3 months.
Is there a competitive environment in which you could play Civilizations for like kudos and or like prizes? Is there a Civ?
A Civ
djWheat.
I bet there is.
Yeah, djWheat, you're the esports expert. Is there a Civ 5 esports environment in which Elspeth could become a professional?
I don't know, but
Never.
we could just make it right here, right now, and Elspeth can just be our Civ fucking esports champion. Like, let's just say we're gonna have a tournament. We're gonna award Elspeth like $50, and we can get her on esports earnings for Civ. Like, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
honestly,
let's just do it.
I love that so much.
As far as esports goes, anything that djWheat says is the truth because he was on a television show. So
I mean, several at this, right? I mean,
that's right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I love that. That's your response to me being like, "Yeah, Marcus was on TV." You're like, "Yeah, a bunch of times, Adam." A bunch of times.
Fucking asshole.
I only say that because, like, so a couple weeks ago, there must have been, I don't know, Delta like changed their programming on their plane. So like the in-flight entertainment, I got like, I don't know, anywhere from like 10 to 15 tweets of like, I just watched you on a Delta flight. I'm like, oh, what was it? What was it called? Because, you know, over time, like you film a lot of different shit. And then like sometimes someone will just sit on it for 3 years and then like Delta buys it out of the blue. And then, you know, so it's just, anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
Several,
I have
Adam. Several.
I was gonna say I
don't even know the names of them anymore.
I think yeah, you forget about that when you do like a lot of interviews or you're doing like press stuff sometimes where you record something and then forget about it, and then like you said, like months later it'll come out and you're like, oh yeah, that's a thing I did, and I look like it's 2 years ago because it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was talking to someone on Twitter earlier about an interview. I was like, yeah, I did this interview for College Humor that hasn't. Oh, okay, well,
Oh, damn, too soon.
yeah. So it's like, sometimes you make content and it just no one ever gets to see it because
never see it.
making content
Never
is a
see
nightmare.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
What besides being famous and on TV, what have you been up to, Wheat? How's things?
I've been in San Francisco all week. I come home, my legs feel better, from like from like surgery. My arm feels better, but now like my back, or I don't know if I had like one of those bad flights that I didn't realize was bad until like, a few hours later when I'm home. So that's annoying as fuck. But I wanted to let you guys know that I thought about you all this week because at some point in my week there, I was, so bored. It was sometime in the evening. I was so bored, and I was going through Facebook, and that is like fuck. Like when I'm bored, I fucking opened up Facebook on my
deep
phone.
level
Like,
boredom. Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
I've literally read all of Reddit. There is no. I'm going to fucking Facebook. I guess. Jesus Christ. But
yeah,
as I did, I was surfaced an ad of which was accompanied by a video. And it was a game in which the main playboard was a toilet and had a plunger coming out of it. And you put this plastic piece of poop into the toilet, and then you like roll the dice. That's how many times you plunged it, and then you plunged it, and then sometimes the poop would pop out, and everyone tried to catch it. And there was this fucking jingle, and I was like, man, like I should know how to do this, but I'm like, how do I save this video or screen capture it or something? I never did, but I was like,
so I missed. I was looking
Verona
at
would
chat. I missed
really
it. Can
fucking
you
like this? Yeah.
Wait, can you show me the plunging gesture again? How do you
the
how do you
plunging,
plunge?
The plunge
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I wasn't sure what the proper
and then the
technique
poop
was.
pops out. And then everyone, and then specifically they show this family, and it's just like, man, this dad looks so excited to be playing this catch poop game with the kids, and I'm fucking confused, you guys. Like maybe I never woke up from the surgery, actually. Maybe because that just how does this happen? How does this get like Bob? It's a fucking phenomenal idea. It's just like the alligator tooth game, but it's poop that you catch in the air. Like
poop is very in right now, Marcus. Marketing companies around the world, poop is in. Poop emoji, poop
That's
poop
true.
everywhere. Just get the poop.
There's poop everywhere. And actually, literally, there's poop everywhere.
Hot poop.
Like there is so much fecal matter everywhere in the world that if you did like a test, there would be as much fecal matter present in your bathroom as there is like
in your toilet,
in your kitchen, Yeah, like it's the same amount of poop everywhere. Do you know how long
I tried,
people
JP.
been pooping?
I tried, and we ended up here anywhere. And it's not my fault, man. Like I know we had this conversation, and I've been trying, but I can't control them. I just can't. I can kill their characters, but these people are not my responsibility.
Y'all know how long people been pooping?
You know how long? Years and years. The dinosaurs were pooping. We use their poop as fuel now.
And according to Jurassic Park, their piles of poo are quite large.
That's a lot of shit.
Mountainous, one would say.
Oh shit.
Laura Dern sticking her entire arm into Triceratops poop is like one of the highlights of the original Jurassic Park.
And just old Jeff.
I will say the way you were setting it up, Marcus, I thought you were going to be like, I was watching this commercial about this poop game, and then there was a slow pan out, and you saw this family, and it was us.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how did it relate to us?
I feel like I just because we were talking about it a few shows ago, and maybe that's the angle. Maybe we need to make a parody video of the poop game with like the Far Verona cast and like, over the top, like how happy we are, like fucking trying to grab this poop out of the sky.
There is,
y'all.
It's interesting. The aesthetic you're describing, that like happy family playing a board game aesthetic is like, it's a real thing. Like I can envision exactly the music and the family and the weird way that they're acting, where it's like they're only a second away from staring at the camera like, God help us, like we're going to die here. Please.
Yes,
hey,
exactly.
you rolled a 6, Grandma. Yeah. Like there's a very specific, there's a genre of like families having a good time together that's like weird commercials. Yeah, I feel like we could replicate that.
There's like also specifically one moment where, I think like the dad is plunging and then the poop pops out and like the younger brother fucking grabs the poop. And like the look of defeat and disappointment on the younger sister is just like, you changed her life by not letting her catch that piece of shit popping out of the toilet.
Help me understand. So the mechanism of the game is that you plunge a random number of times. It's kind of like there are other games like this. It's like a Jack in the Box, right? You plunge a random number of times, and then the poop ejects from the board into the air, like you're playing jacks, and someone has to grab it like the fucking golden snitch, and then they win the poop game.
Exactly.
Okay,
that is it. 2 dice, roll them. Number of plunges. Maybe it's going to pop the poop out. Maybe it's not. Not sure if there are rules beyond that. Clearly understood.
What I'm trying to do is make this a conversation about game design and not a conversation about poop anymore. So I'm interested in that part. But
it's just like you said. It's like, I'm sure in the board game world, right? Like just like the gaming world, someone makes a MOBA and people are like, well,
no,
it's to make a MOBA, right? But
trending,
everyone make a poop game.
It's not the poop game. It's Adam's right. It's the mechanics, right? Because like, they've got the alligator teeth game where they're like, you press down and then it bites you and
and break the ice, right? We have to tap the blocks out and
the pie in the face. The same thing.
How are we not talking about Mr. Bucket? How are we not talking about Mr. Bucket? Mr. Bucket, put your balls in my mouth.
Yeah,
Mr. Bucket.
I don't know what Mr. Bucket is.
You literally, it's the same thing.
No, Adam, have you never heard of Mr. Bucket?
I have no idea what
Vana's like, that's legit the song. Put your balls in my mouth and Mr. Bucket. Buckets of fun.
You put, it's buckets of fun. You put
buckets of fun.
Mr. Bucket. Balls out of its head. And it's on like wheels, so it flies around your house or whatever. It pops balls out of its head, and then you're supposed to go catch the balls and shove them back in Mr. Bucket's mouth, where he then pops them back out of his head again.
I'm not going to
the whole
Mr.
game.
Bucket. It's
Mr. Bucket. Put your balls in my mouth. Fun. Mr. Bucket. I'll spit them back out.
God bless us,
Elspeth.
everyone. This has been fantastic.
If I ever see this again, I'll pull out my phone and I will record it. So anyway.
Oh no!
Oh boy, this is the
nice
thing, right?
I think I'm fired.
every show has its pre-show banter flavor, right? Like Court of Swords ends up feeling like mini dropped frames, and Swan Song was basically just me and Marcus and Jeff talking about movies. And this pre-show, I guess this is what it is. This is what we get. We get absurd poop talk, and you know what? I'm here for it. I like it. It's a nice energy. It's good. I feel revitalized. I feel ready to play a role-playing game. How about you? Do you feel ready to play a role-playing game, or do you need to talk about poop some more? Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, let's
Jasna fight thing.
Yeah, there's fighting. So let's get caught up.
Let's see it.
We have
wait,
a recap.
really quick. My dog has a UTI. Okay, now we can move on.
Vana, please.
Please, God save us. Just roll the recap.
Vana, please.
JP, please. Previously, Far Verona. Johnny, master of subterfuge, waits for Martin to come out of the bathroom and learn what exactly this stranger gets up to when he's all alone. But no clear evidence was made available. The two have a conversation in which Martin learns the others don't trust him because of some bad blood he either wasn't a part of or can't remember. He's upset and obviously confused. Turns out Martin's a sleeper, a synthetic human that thinks they're biological. To convince a docking bay tech to give her what she wants, Autumn is forced to utilize her noble voice. And it works, to Autumn's mixed enthusiasm. While she'd like to forget her nobility, it seems too useful to ignore. Reunited with the group, Johnny asks Jasna to let Martin come back with him to the safe house. Jasna isn't ready to answer. The group discovers surveillance footage of Landra, Autumn's missing sister, in the company of 4 members of the Shawnite Hattigan clan, a group of cannibal pirates. Not what Autumn expected. The 5 board a ship called the Oceans of Time, registered out of Argiast, a nearby system. The group splits, and we follow Hadeel, Jasna, and Haley back to the sporting goods store, where something bad is definitely going on, and Hugh might be in trouble. Haley distracts a guard out back and slips inside, where she hears the sound of someone getting interrogated. Also, punched. Jasna tangles with another tough outside, and the danger in the sporting goods store continues to escalate. All right, danger in the sporting goods store. So yeah, I wanna cut to Autumn and Johnny and Martin, but I think that it would be we'd be remiss to not continue this alleyway fist fight. So the current situation, kind of in the back, Haley, you snuck past and I believe stole the weapon of the guard in the back alley who was watching over the other exit from the sporting goods store, and then slipped inside. So you and Hadeel are sort of closest to the action. Hadeel is hidden amongst the various coats and what have you. And it sounds like Hugh is getting beat up. These guys were interrogating Hugh. You know, we heard a shout of, where are they? And Hugh is holding out. He has not said whatever these guys are looking for, but they're not taking no for an answer. They're still giving him the business. But outside in the alleyway, the guard that Haley stole the gun from is now in the midst of a knockdown, drag out fist fight with Jasna, which I'm sure is going to go super well for that guy. I'm sure he's going to be able to hold up against a combat synth. So Jasna, I think we'll start with you, because I think the last thing we saw was the dude punching you in the face. You took a fairly minor wound, and the two of you are scuffling at the entrance to this alleyway. It's clear that the guy you're fighting with, this street tough, is trying to get away from you so he can go and warn the others that Haley has infiltrated the sporting goods store, that the jig is up, as it were. And I think it's your intention to not let that happen.
That is correct. Yeah.
So, all right. So the two of you are going at it, and I think when we cut back to the two of you kind of squaring off, right? You're blocking the alley. He's just hit you. You stagger back, and you kind of have the initiative, Jasna. So what do you want to do with it? Right? He's gonna try to like get past you or attack you again, but before he does, you have an opportunity to do something. So in the cold air and the darkness of the alley, we cut to Jasna. What do you do?
Right. I would say that what has transpired is, and we've seen this happen before, is like a frustration that initial plan didn't work. There's already been this much of a tussle. And so immediately, I think plans change to like, I'm just going to do what I need to do to incapacitate this individual. Because now I'm worried that like Hadeel is in there, don't know where Haley is. And so there's like a heightened sense of urgency. So I want to try to incapacitate this person. So if that means like I'm trying to get them into a sleeper hold or whatever, but like I want to stop them and I want to essentially try to take them out of the picture for a period where I can tend to other matters.
Yeah, so you want to knock this guy unconscious, and then that'll buy everyone inside time. Like you could tell when he was running down the alleyway that he isn't here to fight you. He's here to get past you. So go ahead and brawl this dude. Difficulty is going to be, he doesn't have any special defenses. Difficulty is going to be two purple to get in on this dude.
Okay. All right, great. I'm just gonna straight up roll brawl.
Yes, do it. Yeah, hit him with your fists. Jesus Christ.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's your
What we
brawn?
want.
Yeah.
My
seriously.
brawn is 4.
Okay, so you deal 4 damage just from your brawn, and then another 3 on top of that. I know 4 because you do count the first one. So you do 8 total. He has a soak of 4 because he's wearing heavy clothing. He's got a leather jacket on, but he's just a goon, and he only has 2 wounds left. So you dispatch this dude soundly. What does that look like?
Man, I'm
Like,
like
this is
at
your
a
moment,
loss.
Jasna. There's a brief tussle, right? He collides with you. He gets a sucker punch in. You stagger back, and now you can destroy him. What does that look like? How does Jasna
Well,
fight?
I think Yasna was so frustrated from the fact that, everything that went all wrong, right? Like this was not a success. So this blow was
Right.
delivered with like incredible amount of frustration and anger behind it, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
I have no reason to be upset with this guy actually really that bad, but I took out, you know, Martin, Christine, having to deal with Haley and fucking her shooting someone with a gun, like all of the frustration of the past. Sorry, you didn't hear that as your character, so it's all of the
I
frustration
heard
of
it as
the
me.
yeah, but I'm just playing. All of the frustrations, all were like channeled into this, like single punch that
Nice.
was incredibly intended to do harm.
So it's like a Zack Snyder Superman punch where everything slows down for a second and then the guy just gets blasted into
Literally,
space.
like the clenching there, it almost sounds like knuckles crack as it, and then just like, yeah.
So when Jasna fights, does she have and this is a kind of an opportunity for you and I to talk a little bit about like the world at large. Do you have like a particular fighting like style? Like does Jasna like I imagine because she was in the military, it's like a Krav Maga type of fighting, like just disable or a Sistema, like disable them as fast as possible, or is
Right.
it like Muay Thai, or like if you imagine how Jasna fights, what
No,
does that look
you're
like?
totally right, right? Like the first in the last episode, the idea was to do a disarming, judo move to sort of
Yep.
put this person on their back and take control. And that's what where a lot of like the military training. But of course, from military perspective, right? Boxing, just mixed martial arts is just it's almost like a hodgepodge of like what is needed for the situation. But
Yeah.
this punch, there was no style. There was just anger.
This was just
Yeah.
rage punch. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I imagine there would be some kind of like special like synth martial arts style because they would build people to be stronger and faster than humans, and so they would have to develop a fighting style that would work for their bodies too. Cool. Okay, yeah. So you blast this dude against the wall. The punch connects square. His head snaps back, and he tumbles to the floor like a bag of wet meat. The fight is over as quickly as it began. Now inside, Hadeel is still crouched behind the garments, listening in on what's going on. And Haley, you're separated from the main room by a wall and a door. What are you doing? You can hear muffled sounds on the other side, but not word.
I thought I got into the vent last time, didn't I?
Oh, that's right. You're slipping into the vents.
Yeah.
That's right. Excellent. Good. Okay, cool. All right, so you're crawling. We cut to the dusty interior of the ventilation system of this building, and you're crawling through it. And your intention is to get to a place where you can hear better,
Yeah.
or
Like if there's like hearing it would be like minimum, but if there's a way to like find another like the end of the vent with the grate that I can kind of spy down on, like hear and see a bit of what's going on in that other room
mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
is the
So
main intention. But
up in the vent, it's it's like stiflingly hot, right? Because there's no air conditioning on this part of Cabina. It's freezing. So there's just like hot air blowing all around you. I imagine, and we can kind of talk about this, but I imagine that Haley probably was not designed to self-cool the way a person is, because that would require that you have pores, which are ugly on camera, and that you would
I
sweat, which
actually
is
have a
also not
bunch
good
of
to look at.
purple LED fans that light up.
Nice, cool.
Cooler master is what it is.
Nice, good. So you have a fan sponsorship now. Great.
Mhm.
Okay, good. But yeah, like I don't think like they wouldn't have built you for this kind of environment. Like it would be like you'd be again, like you'd have smaller pores than normal so that your skin looks nice on camera in the high res holographic future. So yeah, it's you can feel your body like overheating a little bit. You're not going to be able to stick around in the vents for very long. But that's okay because it's not like there's a complex network of tunnels that you need to crawl through. So the old building, there is some kind of rattling in the vents. The vents themselves are making kind of a groaning sound, so it covers any kind of like sound you need to make moving through here. And I think you get to a place where, in the sort of classic Metal Gear Solid and or horror game mode, you come up to a set of slats that are open where air is pouring out into the room, and you look down into the store, and I think you can make out a group of four. I think there are four more of them inside. Nope, three inside. Three kind of like lookouts. So again, dressed like the guys outside. They're wearing probably like either like fleece or like puffy like jackets. One of them has a vest on. They're dressed for the cold, but they've come inside. They have like knives, though none of them have them drawn. And it doesn't look like any of them have guns on them, which is nice. It looks like the one gun they had was outside. There is a leader. There's a main guy who has his knife out, and it's one of those knives that like it's not. Jasna would look at it and roll her eyes because it's for show more than it's got like spikes on the back of it, and it's like way bigger than it needs to be. Like it's a knife to scare people more than anything. I mean, it's still a knife, but so and that's what he's trying to do. He's got it out now, and he's pushed Hugh's sort of bulk up against one of the cabinets, and he's pointing the knife at him. And Hugh has obviously been hit a few times already. He's got a black eye that's starting. He's got some blood dripping out of his nose, and his hair is all messed up. And he, despite all that, has a sort of implacable look on his face where he's like, he's not telling these guys anything. He seems like he's resisting. And the guy with the knife is saying, he's basically giving him the like, listen, I'm running out of patience here, old man. Either you tell me where she went, or I stick this knife in your fat guts. And that's what you see. You see Hugh doing his best to resist. But at a glance, you can tell this probably will not end well, right? Like, even if Hugh manages to resist these guys' interrogation, he'll end up on the floor with a knife wound. And that's sort of best case for him if this continues. What do you do?
Can I shoot that man?
Yes. Yeah, you can.
May I shoot that man, Mr. Adam? Please.
You can take out your fancy pistol, and you can put the barrel of it through the vent, and and when you do, and we talked about this pistol having like a fancy like targeting system. So when you bring it out, a little sensor on the back fires a beam of light into your retina, and you can see like a target assessment in the room. So it gives you like a rangefinder to that guy. It brings up Hugh, the guy with the knife. It highlights the knife, right, and shows like there's another weapon in play. It highlights the knives in sheets they all have, it gives you this display as you kind of hone in on the dude. And then you just want to take a second to aim and then blow his brains out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the gun itself is going to give you an additional bonus die, but there's also an aim action. So when you aim a weapon, you can give yourself, here we go. If you spend how long do you want to wait before you take the shot, right? Because you can wait a second. You can just be like, target and fire, and that'll give you one. If you aim, it'll give you 1 blue die. If you wait a little longer, if you hold and target, it'll give you 2, but that might give these guys a chance to like do something. It is up to you.
Would I get any sort of bonus if I'm using like the grating to stabilize the weapon?
Oh, like because you're on your elbows and you basically got kind of a tripod.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that justifies an extra
Okay.
blue die for sure.
Okay, then I'll just
Could
do
we-
So
it
it'll be
quick but
yeah, be-
stable.
so it's one for the guns auto targeting system, one for stabilizing, and one more for aiming, and then you're gonna take the shot.
You got this.
That's the plan. Okay.
So
right.
3 blue?
Yes. Yeah. And then the difficulty. Now, here's the thing. You also don't have a fully clear shot on the guy, but you are only at medium range. So for difficulty, let's say 2 purple and a black die. 2 purple and a black.
Okay. And then can I use the story point?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah,
Great.
you definitely can.
Okay, and then what do you want? Which skill do you want me to use?
I believe it is range
Gunnery
weapons.
or
Light range.
Gunnery's
right?
for like cannons. Yeah, I think it's just
Okay.
ranged.
Light
Yeah,
range.
range light.
Okay. I put my point in the wrong thingy. Okay. All right, here we go.
This is going to be
Okay.
amazing roll, Haley. Oh my god!
Wow. All right, very
Holy
good,
shit.
very very good shapes on this one.
Oh shit!
So you
Like,
got
she can do everything. This child is a
Not a
walking
child!
god robot.
No scope! 360 no scope!
Fucking kicks the thing open, like falls down.
well, so
Freeze
so
frame.
here's the thing. Let me take a look here at the options, because you got some advantage as well, in addition to the damage you're going to deal. So this gun is like an improved, a deeply improved custom laser pistol.
Oh, God.
So let me see what laser pistol comes with. Accurate 1, which we got. It comes with burn 1. I was gonna say you can use burn 1 to light this guy on fire, but I don't know if he's gonna survive. So let's see. It does 6 damage, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. And then you got 2. It's got pierce 1. Yeah, there's no reason to light him on fire because he's dead. So
Burn him!
Here's the thing, right? Is that laser weapons, the only noise they make is the brief whine of the energy cell warming up, and then the kind of like popping sound of the water vapor in the air along the beam suddenly evaporating. So there's this like hiss noise when it fires. So what happens is we see this guy holding the knife up to Hugh, and there's this funny popping sound, and none of the other guys notice it. He notices. He turns to like look at the vent, and we can see there's a big circle just burned in his forehead. And he turns for a second, he looks at the vent, makes a confused face, reaches up to touch his head, and then just falls over. And there's no blood, there's no, like, you just burn a hole in his brain and he dies. He just falls over backwards. There's a thump, and one of the other guys.
No. What? No, Adam!
No,
Someone
Adam!
shot Adam with a laser pistol! It was exactly as he described.
guys, no, this is it. We just
Oh.
GM ourselves. And then Haley killed the guy and he was
Oh,
destroyed.
and he pooped his
Wow.
pants.
And out of it came a secret USB that had all the answers of where all the synths are, and they're all safe.
Yeah.
And then
we can't
Landra
blame y'all.
crawled out from underneath a pile of jackets and
Yeah. I
lived
love you,
happily
Warden.
ever
I love you
after.
too, sister. We'll be safe forever now. No one can hurt us ever again.
We beat it. We beat Far Verona.
Yeah. Johnny became a real person at the end. We found like a machine to make Johnny real.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh my
That's
god.
insane, dude. Wow.
I don't think I've
today.
I don't think I've ever been in this. I mean, I've been in a situation where like a player all of a sudden dropped, but like I've
Right.
never like
Never
is there a drill that I've missed that we've run before when this type of thing
We're in
happens?
the
You guys
wildlands now, man.
Wow.
do we have a
If it's
safety
anything-
leader coordinator that's
If it's anything like a tornado drill, I think we just need to get in the basement and sit there for like 30
Under our
minutes,
desk?
and then we can go back upstairs.
Get in the
Right,
bathtub.
Let's do that.
chat
Can I
is
go
the
get more
GM now.
coffee, or can I like
Twitch plays Far Verona.
Can we have a
get back
graph
in the
tank chat? Because we
Chat,
could
yeah.
just tell Adam that a grav tank
He
pulled
was-
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm
What
just
do we
waiting for
do?
the voice of JP to come in and be like,
yeah,
"Oh,
Well, I think that we could take a break right now. That'd probably be
Yeah.
a good time.
break
Yeah.
breaks you.
Break
JP,
for technical
speak to us.
difficulties.
Speak to us, JP. Great and wise JP, what do you say?
All right, we'll give it a couple minutes to see if Adam comes back. I'll keep the VOD recording. Adam's currently at Blue Jay's house in somewhere, Seattle, I think. And I saw Blue Jay talking, so I don't know if the internet went out or the PC reset or what. But we'll give Adam a couple minutes and then we'll go from there.
Welcome back, everybody. So apparently, Vana, Haley shoots that guy so hard it killed my internet. So thank you for that. This will teach me to use a human being as a modem. So I don't know. I was in the middle of like a really cool, florid description of some awesome shit happening, but I don't know how much of that y'all got. But Haley, basically, you blast the dude, and there is a moment before even chaos happens where no one even knows what's going on. Like their friend has just fallen to the floor. You're still pretty much in control of the situation, Haley. What do you want to do?
There's one more person that's
There
like
are three.
aggressing.
There are
Well,
three more in the room
including.
total. Yeah, after the dead guy.
Okay, so Hugh's one of them.
No, I wasn't counting Hugh. So there are three goons. I didn't want to give Hugh as a target.
But one of them is on the ground.
Yes, soon to be in the ground. They're dead. You shot him right through the face.
Okay, so two more not dead.
3 total. 3 more for you to kill if you want to do that.
Okay, so 2 more. Got it.
No, 3. God damn it.
Well, are they looking at the vent, or are they sort of looking around confused?
No, they have no idea what happened.
Okay. With like how high my roll was, is there any way to do like a double pop or something? Like when
yes.
people do the revolvers and they're like,
yeah, if you want, because again, your window is very small, so you can only really see Hugh, and you hear someone approaching. You have two unused advantage, so you can just roll those into another shot if you want to wait until the next guy walks into your field of view.
Yeah, I guess my concern is that they will take cover.
Yeah, as soon as this guy gets over here, he's gonna see what happened to his boss, to Shark, and then he's gonna be like, "Uh-oh, something's going on." But you have a moment there, if you're lucky, where as soon as he walks into view, you can kill him before he realizes what happened to Shark.
Yes, I would like to do that.
Yeah, you want to do that? Okay, all right. So you're holding, waiting for this guy to get into the kill box. Meanwhile, Jasna outside, you've dispatched this guy. What are you gonna do?
So I think knowing that Hadeel is sort of at the front and Haley went to the back, but a guy came out and Haley didn't, I think it makes the most sense to drag this guy down to where Haley had gone to and then check out the situation, which I assume then I would see the back door. I'd probably end up in the back.
Yeah. So you grab the body, you pick him up off the ground, you come running or quickly dashing into the back. You look around the corner, you see the back entrance. The door. Haley, did you leave the door propped open, or did you kick that boot that was holding it
No, I
closed?
kicked it out because I didn't want the other guy to be able to get back in. So it's actually
All right,
probably
there is a single snow boot lying on the ground in the alley, and the door is shut.
Wait, is this Haley's snow boot?
No, it's just a
somebody else's
ski
snow
boot
boot,
from
but
inside.
Well, what was he trying to get that from viewers that was under the?
it was a little glove. So if Jasna looked under, like, through the slats of the stairs, he would just see a single Haley's single glove.
Oh shit!
Haley, if you want to, I think it's unlikely enough that if you want to spend a story point, then Jasna sees the glove and realize, like, then Jasna puts it all together. Otherwise, Jasna just sees an empty.
Well, wait a second. Hold on a second. Like, it's snowing out, right? Like, can I analyze the tracks at least?
Yeah, that's the other thing, is if you want to take the time to like scope the place out, then you don't have to spend the point. That was just for luck. Like if you come around the corner, you're like, oh shit, you see the glove. But otherwise, you see tracks and stuff. So yeah, you can do that tactical assessment if you'd rather, for sure.
Okay, I think it makes sense that I would do a tactical assessment, not knowing what to do. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so it's going to be I don't think there's like a specific skill for tracking, or let me take a look.
I mean, perception.
I think it's perception. I think perception covers a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah, let's just have you roll perception.
Okay.
Oh, there is a survival skill, actually. Let me see what survival
I mean, but like,
covers.
I've got this guy. I know Haley went back there. Like, aren't I trying to? perceive
Yeah,
what
it's
is
just I'm trying to figure. This is a game thing. I'm trying to
happening?
figure out if it's like if there's a specific example for tracking, then I want to use the skill that's
Got it.
appropriate for it.
Got it. Okay.
But if it's just perception,
I
then
mean, I'm proficient in both,
yeah.
but
You don't have to brag about it. Jeez. Here we
well,
go.
perception's
So-
higher, you know.
So perception, your character should not use this skill if you're trying to follow a trail or track a foe through the wilderness. Okay, you know what? Either one fits in this case because you're not in the wilderness. So yeah, make a perception. Make a perception roll and put 2 purples in your pool and then make a roll.
Okay, let's perceive the fuck out of this.
Okay. All right.
We did not perceive.
Those are
shit.
mixed bag of shapes there, my friend. That's a mixed bag. So there's too much. I think the problem is that like fresh snow is fine, right? That's an easy way to track. But when you get out here, there's just too much chaos, too many footprints, too much going on.
Okay.
You still feel pretty good about the situation, right? You're all fired up from knocking that dude out. You have 4 advantage you can hang on to, but yeah, there's no sense of what's gone on back here. So in that moment, Haley, another target walks into your field of view. The gun, almost of its own accord, just like pulls towards the target. Right? It wants.
I've got
you
the
to
aim
use it.
assist on.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just like
Hacksaw Haley.
Oh man.
Haley 76.
No.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, you wanna take the shot?
Yes, please.
Okay, now in this case, you don't have the time to aim, right? Because you want to hit him before he sees what's going on. So
Okay.
you're gonna get the extra blue from the gun itself, right? From the gun's help, and then you have up to 2 more from your advantage on the last shot if you want to use those. So if you want to just roll with 3 blue,
3 blue,
Okay.
and then what's the difficulty on this one?
it is 2 purple and a black.
Okay. Don't want to use another story point since I've already done that. Okay, here we go.
Hey, look at that!
Damn.
Another
Damn.
beautiful shot. So these guys, since they're not, you took out the main dude with 1 shot. These guys are way less good than him. So this is well enough to take another guy out. So at this point, I think if you were to look into the inside of the room, right? So you see this guy walk up, and you're pretty much like Full Metal Jacketing these guys, where it's like you sniper one, and then one comes to check it out, and you kill him too, and the pile of bodies just keeps getting bigger as they all kind of AI track over, like, hey, what's going? Blah. Hey, what's going on? Blah. The second guy, you have to fire much more quickly, but he just doesn't. His armor's not as good. He's not as tough. You hit him in the chest. He grabs his chest, falls backwards, and then tumbles forward. And at this point, inside, the other 2 guys that are still alive have turned because the guy was like, "Hey, what was that?" And they also twigged the sound. They turn to watch. They watch him walk over, and this time they see the lance of solid light pop out of the vent, kill the guy. They drop him. One guy turns to the other and he's like, "Oh shit, there's something in the," and I think you hear that, and then you hear a wet gurgling sound, and then several more laser shots, and you can't see what's going on in the room. So you hear a guy just be like, "There's something in the," and then more firing and more bright light. Yeah. So what are you gonna do, Haley?
I think Haley's just gonna sit tight to see what has happened. Because like worst case scenario, like if someone spies her in the vent, she can just back it up, and likely someone is not gonna be able to follow her in there unless it's other Haley.
Yeah, the worry is less
So-
the worry is less somebody following you into the vent and more
Mhm.
somebody doing the Die Hard and just perforating the vent with lasers.
Sure, that's fair.
Um,
I
which
think
is
she's
also
still
possible.
gonna if they shot the baddies, I think she's just gonna sort of hold her breath and wait to see what
Okay.
comes in her field of view.
Okay, so Haley's gonna wait. You hear the sound of you hear that initial, like, the wet gurgling sound that cuts off the sentence. The sound of a man whose blood is filling his lungs before he finishes the sentence. Then you hear laser fire. You hear some more kind of chaotic battle sounds. Jasna, outside, what are you gonna do?
Um, I mean, I'm gonna try to go in, assuming
You're gonna try to
that
go
at
inside?
least,
Okay.
yeah. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I would check the door immediately.
Okay. Yeah, it's locked, but it's a pretty flimsy door, right? It's a sliding metal panel. It's got a little intercom button like a doorbell, and it's currently red to indicate that the door is locked.
Okay. What would this be a door I feel like I could breach with force?
You could try to jam your fingers in and try to pull it open. So here you got some options, right? Try to pull it open. You could try to hack the panel, or again, this is the kind of thing where you could spend a story point and just be like, boring conversation anyway, shoot the panel, and the story point would mean that the door would just open,
Okay.
right? Just out of luck,
Um,
right? Where you're just like, yeah. Basically
right.
anything that doesn't make sense in real life but would make sense in a movie, that's what story points are for.
Okay. Okay. Why don't I do that? Because I think there's still, like you'd mentioned, like there's still adrenaline for taking this guy out, like wondering what the hell happened to Haley. I'm gonna trust that Hadeel has the front covered. Um, so my pistol out, I do shoot the door
Okay.
panel,
Yeah. Yeah. So you just
hack with
blast it,
force.
burst of hot lasers, and
Yes.
yeah, and the door slides open. You see the little back room. I think you see you see this little office, and it looks, a quick scan of the office. It looks pretty like much what you would expect, but there's a ventilation duct with the grate hanging open.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
I would
And
probably
I think
enter the room
yeah,
sort
and I
of
think when
in
you
a
come
very much
in,
a, like clear and yeah.
yeah, you can hear, though not see, the muffled sound of like fighting. There's a scuffle or something going on in the other room. Yeah, there's also a laser rifle leaned up against the wall or discarded on the floor, depending on how careful Haley was with it.
Okay. So I think I would probably clear the room,
Yep.
clear the rifle,
Yep.
and then try to see if I could find out what was happening in the next room.
Okay. Do you want to go into the room? There is again another door that's shut. This one isn't locked. It's got a green light on the panel, and then it's got a little intercom.
I would never enter the room without at least trying to figure out what was happening. So no, I think I would try to be quiet in terms of like like pushing it open and seeing if I could actually see what was happening in there.
Yeah. Okay. So you wanna open the door and then be able to hear, just like listen. Okay.
Right.
You hear the unmistakable sound of somebody struggling for their life. You hear like grunting and yes, there's a fight going on in the other room. It's not a gunfight. There's just, you hear somebody like breathing hard and struggling to continue being alive.
Okay. Um then and can I, but I can't physically see anything. I just hear.
If you peer around the corner out into the room, no, I don't think you can.
Okay. Then I guess I wouldn't like boot the door open. I would actually slide it and then enter in very, very slowly from like
Okay.
a covered position type
Yeah, if you come in low, gun
approach.
drawn,
Yeah.
you can approach. There's the counter, so you're coming from the back office into the space where there's the counter and the till, and you have some cover from the counter. So you come up and press your back against it. The counter itself is full of like small, expensive equipment that wouldn't be out on the floor. So like compasses and survival knives and like GPS
Right.
systems and stuff. And it's semi-transparent enough that you can see in between some of the racks of clothes. You can see one of these puffy jacketed goons struggling. He's got a knife out. It's blade down. He's got a knife out, and he's wrestling with Hadeel. Hadeel also has a knife, which she is attempting, and hers is much smaller. It's like a pop out knife. She is attempting to jam it into this guy's neck, and he is attempting to stop her from doing that.
Oh, okay. I mean, like, I would immediately try to spring to action to help Hadeel.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What does
Yeah.
that look like? The two of them
I
are
mean,
locked in mortal
it
combat.
probably looks like me leaping over the counter and then trying to, like, soccer ball his head or something. Just like,
Okay.
yeah,
So you just want to run
like,
over and try to knock him out?
yeah. Who is like the aggressor on top? Is Hadeel like?
It's
Is she
one of those
fighting
it's one of
from?
those situations where the guy is been shoved up against like a clothing rack, and he's got his knife out, but it's not doing him much good because he's just literally like arms up trying to keep this knife from going into his face, right? She's like pushing on his arms, and he is just barely resisting.
Well, then maybe then I change it and I just want to assist Hadeel and just like use my strength and like push the knife and give her a little bit of extra so that she gets this guy.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is, here's what happens, and Haley, you see Jasna, but not what Jasna is looking at. So you see Jasna in the vent, and Jasna, when you stand up and vault over the counter, the goon that's fighting with Hadeel sees in his peripheral vision, he sees movement and registers a threat, and turns both his vision and attention on you, which buys Hadeel enough time to make that last shove, and he turns to look at you, and the knife just goes into the side of his face. And he kind of blinks a couple of times. One of his eyes starts leaking blood, and then he slides off the knife and down to the floor. Hadeel looks at you, quick snap around the room, and then says to you, "Room's clear," and then snaps the blood off her knife and then sheaths it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I am I would go investigate the vent. I'm like I feel like I have a good idea that Haley's up there, but like maybe like I walk underneath and like tap a couple times and
Yeah. I mean,
the room is clear.
The vents are built into the ceiling, but there is a section of the ceiling that is like slightly lower than the rest. There's a bit of a dip. And so yeah, if you walk over and just poke it, Haley, you feel Jasna like shove the bottom of the vent.
Hey, cut it out.
Do you need help getting out?
Yes.
Right, so then I imagine that yes, I pull the grate out and then like Haley puts her arms out, but she's holding that super dope pistol in one of them. It's like,
yeah, you just grab her under the arms, pull her out of the vent, and lower her down. Yep.
She like
Yeah,
she
absolutely.
brushes the dust off of her little winter petticoat.
Excellent. So the three of you, the three of you are now inside, reunited with each other and with the corpses of these guys. And the camera pans over to Hugh, who is wiping. He's got a handkerchief and he's wiping the blood off of his face. And he's got a look on his face that is somewhere between like gratitude and worry for the future. And before he gets a chance to say anything or we have a conversation, we're going to cut to Autumn, Johnny, and Martin. Now, the three of you we talked about this a little bit, Mark, before the show. The plan was just to keep Martin away from the safe house, right? Until we could decide what to do with them. Right now, is there somewhere you would go in particular, or like where are you distracting? Where are you distracting Martin? Martin, just to reinforce here, Martin thinks that he has been reunited with his best friends, right? Johnny is his number one best bud because Johnny is the one that's like, pulling for him. Jasna is kind of mean, but will probably come around because Johnny's, doing that work. And Martin is just having a great day. He's just hanging out with his friends and enjoying his time. So where do you go with Martin? What is the plan?
I thought we were just gonna leave Martin eventually. Like we wanted
Well,
to.
okay, so
revisit
again, that's
him
the question.
somewhere.
Are you trying to find somewhere to ditch him?
I guess. I think that's what we agreed on last time, where it was like, oh, we can't bring him with us. And then they talked to Johnny about it. Johnny was like, okay.
Yeah.
A sad face. So I don't know.
Take him to the outskirts of town and be like,
yeah,
Martin,
you
just
basically
wait for
like
us
take him
here.
out there, drop him off, and leave him there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Is Johnny going to have a change of heart? Like, is he not going to be able to pull the trigger on old Martin? Like, I'm sorry, boy.
Yeah, right. Like Martin's like, hey guys, what are we doing out here in the town dump?
By this glacier.
Oh God.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think Autumn is just more. She's very sympathetic to like the fact that Johnny wants wants to be friends with Martin, and also feels responsible for Martin because like we did leave him for dead. So I think that like Autumn is quite torn and doesn't quite want to ditch him either. Like I think she is like, oh, let's wander
you know what? Here,
around and
let's
like
make
window
this,
shop
let's make this a conversation in character. So you're in a coffee shop, you're in a cafe, and there are there's a small handful of people who are standing up by the counter of the cafe waiting to get drinks. Everybody is still wearing their winter clothes. Lots of people standing around here waiting to get like a hot beverage to warm up on a cold day. And Martin is like, I'll get drinks for everybody, and he's gone up to the counter to go and buy coffees for y'all. And the two of you are standing just out of reach of Martin. He can't hear you, and you're over by the window, talking about what is to be done about Martin. So, please.
Well,
I don't.
here we are. And
Yeah. I feel bad. I do understand what we have to do, but I do feel responsible, and I just don't know what to do with him, Johnny. Honestly, I don't want to just
I
ditch
know.
him.
It's okay. I think it's probably for the best that he doesn't come along. It's just that I feel like he's a changed being. And
Yeah,
maybe he would be useful to us in the future. I don't know.
just wish there was a way. I wish there was a way that we could know if he has been. I mean, he's got to, right? There's no way that he'd just be let off. They wouldn't just let him go.
Yeah.
That's certainly what I've not. That doesn't match up with anything I've read about how they handle the situation. Just don't know. I don't know what to
don't
do with
want
him.
him spying on us, so maybe it is for the best that we don't bring him along.
If we could. And Adam, you said that he's like up getting coffees. Is it quite busy?
When you cut to him, he is currently holding up the line because he's like, I want a large. No, a medium. No, a large. No, is that too much? Maybe I should just get a small. And so the whole line is like kind of like piling up
He's
behind
the
him. As he's
worst.
like, oh, I can't.
That-
I should have. I'm
that
sorry. I should have
hurts
thought of this
me,
before I got up to the front.
Goons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of look at Johnny and I look at the door and it's like probably wouldn't notice us leave now if we.
Okay. All right. I'm in if you guys are in. I guess he's out.
I just nod. Like, there's other people around here, and it's really sad. But I think I'm just like, we should just go now before it gets worse.
All right.
Ma'am, you left your dog in the Starbucks. That's not my dog. Walks away.
Kind of like that. Like, it's warm. There's other people. Maybe somebody will take pity on him. Like,
somebody will love him, but not us.
Not us.
So,
man, Autumn feels so horrible about this, but yeah, she's
just
changed.
Well,
Like
Johnny doesn't
doing
feel
this.
great about it either, but
Yeah,
gotta do what you
the
gotta
two of us
do,
are just
I
like,
suppose.
"Oh." Yeah,
just gonna slip away on old Martin. Hey, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're working together on this. So make a stealth roll. I don't know. Basically, treat it as a like a team roll, right? So,
Okay.
Johnny, what's your stealth, and Autumn, what's yours?
Stealth.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right.
Johnny's very
2 green.
Yeah, my stealth is also 2 green.
Okay, so it's going to be 2 green. Throw a blue in there. I don't care which of you is going to roll. Whoever is the leader of this operation.
Beth,
so you
please make this roll because
Okay,
I don't trust
okay.
my dice. I
All
don't
right,
trust
all
them.
right. Add a blue, and then what else?
It's going to be 2 green and a blue. I think give yourself another blue for the crowded room. And then the difficulty is going to be Martin's ability to perceive things, which I think is just too. Yeah, it's just too purple.
Okay, so I have 2 blue, 2 green.
Super.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? I got lots of story points. Let's throw an upgrade on the bad side. Let's make it an upgrade for the difficulty.
Okay. So what would that? So just upgrade that, and okay.
Yeah.
So upgrade 1. All right, here we go. Rolling stealth for the team. Yoink.
Nice. See you later, Martin. Okay, so here's the thing.
Martin.
You get advantage. So here's the thing. You're gonna get advantage, but you don't sneak away from Martin. You don't get what you want. So at the last minute, and I'll leave it up to you, Johnny. Is it Autumn or you that Martin notices? One of you get away, and the other he notices before you can. Which of the two of you is it?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to randomly determine it, yeah. And for folks in chat who are asking, the roll that Martin had last time that was like really like weirdly good, it wasn't. It was vigilance.
Vigilance.
And he was like actively being. In this case, he's not. He's distracted, right? So I'm just using a base difficulty.
Okay.
I'm ready
Okay.
for one.
Best out of 3.
No, just do it once. We'll just do it once.
Okay.
Ready? 1,
yeah.
2,
2, 3.
The timing is so broken.
You'll
on
never
that.
be
We
able to
cannot
sync
do
this up. It's just not possible.
Y'all,
Here,
just do it in chat. Just do
I'll
it in
flip a
chat.
I'll flip a coin.
Let Adam
Mark,
flip a coin. I'm okay
Mark,
with that.
I'm rolling
Wow.
a D2. Mark,
D2.
you're 1. Mark, you're 1. Elspeth, you're 2. I rolled a 2. Okay, all right. So that means that Johnny, you are still. Here's what happened. So Autumn slips away. Autumn goes outside, and Johnny, as you are about to open the door, Martin turns, and he's just finished deciding, like, they asked him, do you want a tray? And he's like, I can handle. No, maybe I should. I don't want to waste. Then we have to recycle it. And no, I'll take one. And so we see him, and he turns, and he's got. The thing is, he got coffee for everybody. So he's got one for Johnny, and one for Autumn, and one for Haley, and one for Jasna, and one for himself. And then he got an extra just in case, like, somebody needed an extra coffee. So he's got all these beverages, and he turns around and he sees you leaving, right, Johnny? You got your hand on the door. He looks at you. What do you do? Do you do anything? Do you say anything? You can just walk out if you want, but
Hey, Martin.
Do I hear this, by the way? Like, or am I like down the street?
You're outside. You haven't gotten like, yeah. And so Martin looks at you and he says, he's like, oh, hey, yeah, hold the door. My arms are kind of full.
Johnny takes this moment to not hold the door.
Yeah, you're just gonna walk outside.
He just walks outside.
Okay, all right.
He's panicking.
What do we do?
Is it clear to Martin that this is a moment where you're like, fuck you, Martin, we're leaving, and you just walk out?
I don't know if Johnny has a fuck you face. So
sure, yeah, you wouldn't be able to express that.
Yeah. I think Johnny probably just leaves without even saying anything.
Just neutral face, just walks out like you never heard or saw him.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay. All right. Okay. So when Martin comes outside, going like, guys, hey, where'd everybody go? I got our drinks. You're just gone? He just walks out into the street and nobody's around.
I think Johnny will make an effort to like maybe slam the door a little bit if he can. So Martin kind of spills the drinks and gets distracted.
Oh, so not only are you going to ditch him, you're going to try to slam the door in his face. to spill the drinks all over him so that you can buy yourself time to escape.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're trying to get away.
Wow.
Listen, you guys are dicks, okay? Not Johnny. He's baby in all of this.
Cold.
That
Cold,
is
Johnny.
very
This is
cold.
why nobody
So
likes
bad.
robots. Okay. All right. So the situation is Martin turns around, sees Johnny, and says, "Hey, yeah, Johnny, hold the door for me." And then hustles because he's like, "Oh, they must have gotten bored. Like, I'm sorry I took so long. I better hustle up." So he hustles towards the door, and as he arrives at the door, Johnny slams it in his face. The cups of coffee he has go all over the front of him. Right, they go right in his arms, fold right up into his chest. He gets covered in mocha. He gets lots of little. They have little like holiday sprinkles on top, and they stick to the front of him. And he's just like,
sorry,
and he stops, kind of like, oh god, and immediately he's like, like he's concerned, like you couldn't possibly be doing this on purpose. And then I think he just kind of stands there for a second with like stuff dripping off of him, and I think he like realizes what's going on right in that moment. And we stay with him. Johnny and Autumn, I assume you ditch, right? I assume you're just like, let's get the fuck out of here, get away from this guy, right? Like like go into an alley or like blend into the crowd or whatever. Is that the plan?
Yeah. I think like
Okay.
I'd probably be pulling Johnny into like the crowd.
And
like
I'm sad.
Yeah, and I think like Autumn is just like painfully quiet and looks at Johnny with like a sad face and like sees him looking sad. And maybe just like takes Johnny's hand and just like squeezes it a little bit, like this really sucks, and I, and just like gives like a nod of like, yeah, this is horrible, and I wish we didn't have to do this.
So we stay in the coffee shop with Martin for a second, right? He gets coffee splashed all over him. The two of you disappear into the crowd, and he kind of like looks at himself and the coffee cups all over the floor, and somebody's already come over like to help him clean up, and he looks down at them, and he kind of looks up and he says, almost to himself, he's just like, oh, I've got coffee all over me. And he turns and he heads back towards the back of the shop where there's a little sign that's like washrooms with an arrow or whatever, and he walks down the hallway, and he comes into the back where the washrooms are, and he goes to open the door, and it's closed. Somebody's got a little occupied hologram on it because it's the future, and he tries to open it, and he stops, and he just stands there kind of like blinking and like he's processing something. And the door opens, and we see a man about like Martin's size, and Martin looks him up and down, and the guy's like, oh, sorry, like, excuse me, the guy tries to get past him in the hallway, and Martin looks at him and then takes a step forward towards the guy, puts a hand out, grabs the dude by the throat, and pushes him into the bathroom, and the door closes behind them. Meanwhile, in the street.
Holy shit, you're right, dude.
Meanwhile,
I think we broke him. I think that act of betrayal just broke whatever was keeping Martin together. Dude.
So you're in the streets now, and you're headed back towards the shop.
Yeah,
well, I think the plan now that you.
Yeah, I think that's where I'd want to go.
Johnny, do you say anything to Autumn about what just happened, or are you just kind of keeping this to yourself?
Nope, we are just keep on keeping on.
Okay, all right. So you push through the crowd and make your way towards the sporting goods store. So meanwhile, in said store, Haley, you have been lifted down from the vents by Jasna. Hadeel is like looking around, making sure there's nobody else to murder. And Hugh looks at you, Jasna, and he says, "Oh boy, I thought my goose was cooked. Thanks, Jasna. You folks know who these people are? Oh boy."
Haley will start just rummaging around in their pockets looking for some identifying factors, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. So if Hugh notices you doing this, Haley, he nods and he says, "Oh, good idea. Just strip them down for me, would you? You can put their clothes over in a pile there. Anything that's burned, we'll throw in the incinerator. Hadeel, if you can just drag the piles over. Jasna, I got a mop in the back. We're gonna need to clean this blood up real quick.
And I'm like, no, wait. You do not know who these men were?
Shrugs. Corpses now.
Jesus.
I find it hard to believe that these men just decided to choose your shop to assault a keeper and what is
Oh no, I don't think they were here to rob me. They were looking for you folks, but I wouldn't tell them anything.
well, they were looking for all of us, or they were
He shakes his head. No. I think these are what we got here is your common street criminal. Now I don't know what you did to piss them off, but it sounded like they were looking for Autumn. Now, of course, I didn't say anything. Old Hugh's no snitch. But yeah, I'm sure glad you came in when you did, because I wasn't gonna be able to hold them off for very long.
We in the drug.
I mean, I guess I would definitely like look to Haley and Haley, you had the best view of the situation. What did you hear or see?
I mean, not a lot. I kind of got I got here after the action kind of started a little bit, but it sounded like they were looking for a woman or a girl, and that's about it.
Hugh says, just kind of offhand to himself, he's like, huh, them and me both. And then he says to you, Haley, he's like, what size are those boots? Is it a 7, an 8? Get him off that guy. Don't get any blood on him.
Is this how you stock your shop? Is you just wait for people to come in, and then you wait for other people to kill them, and then you take all of their clothes, and then you put them on a rack and sell them to people?
He says, he's like, I run a legitimate business here, little one, but you know,
It's a
when
yes or no question, Hugh.
when God offers you an opportunity, you take it. So yeah, just strip them down.
Okay, we'll leave that to you. We did the hard work. You can do the other work.
And he's like, oh well, all right. And he comes over to one of the bodies and just starts like undoing their shirt and like taking their clothes off and checking it for holes, throwing it in a pile.
I guess we should probably first make sure it's closed and whatnot. But I think we should go through the bodies and see if we can figure out what the hell.
Okay. Yeah. So these guys, they, as Hugh said, they do kind of just look like street toughs. Basically, they have lots of kind of bad like stick and poke tattoos, plenty of scars, which you're now being exposed to as Hugh strips their clothes off.
I think actually Jasna realizes like, oh, I forgot I left one alive and back. And so I'm gonna go get that guy and bring him into the back room.
Nice. Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So Jasna slips out back. And Hugh turns to you, Haley, and says, that was some nice shooting up there. Good work. I wouldn't have figured you to be one protocoled for assassination, but takes all kinds, I guess.
Well, you can't judge a book by its cover, can you, Hugh?
He looks at you and he gives you a wink and just taps the side of his nose.
What?
Haley's just gonna go back to searching.
You're like, well, all right then, Hugh. Thanks.
I don't think she fully trusts him. Like, I think she maybe trusts him a little bit more, having like semi-experienced a situation where it seemed like he wasn't snitching on them.
Yeah, he definitely didn't.
I think she's still a little reserved.
He got punched several
reason.
times and threatened to be stabbed, and he didn't fold. And that was before he knew you were there, so it wasn't a show for
didn't even
you
blink,
necessarily.
really, did he?
Yep. The river that is Hugh runs deep. So okay, so Jasna, you go out back to retrieve the unconscious guy who is still out, and bring him inside. Hadeel shuts the shop all the way, right? Because it got partly. She finishes closing thing, but I think as she does, Autumn and Johnny, you walk up. So you see the shop in you see the shop in the same state I described before, where the front shutter is down, but not all the way, and there's a little bit of a gap on near the floor. And the sign is still on, but the store looks closed. And the two of you you walk up and you see this.
Is everything okay?
You see at the bottom, you see Hadeel like poke her head out at the the thing, and she looks out and she sees the two of you, and she's like, "Yeah, we kind of had a situation." And she lifts the grate up high enough for you to come in, which she's gesturing for you to do. And then she slams it shut behind you. The room smells of discharged laser weapon and blood. Also, one of the corpses has definitely shit itself. And the air conditioning unit is working.
Oh,
Yeah. And Hadeel watches Autumn have this issue, and she looks at you, Johnny, and she's like, "Where's Martin?"
You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
You're muted.
Shit, something's wrong with Johnny's vocalization box.
Johnny's broken. Johnny broken his voice.
Are you okay?
Sorry. Sorry, clearing out my throat there. We might have left him.
Yeah.
And yeah, Hadeel just shrugs like, "Gotta do what you gotta do." And she turns to look back, and you see Hugh, and you see Haley like digging through these guys' pockets. Haley, are you looking for anything in particular? Like, I think you find here's what you find on these guys. So they have I think only the leader had a personal, like a comms unit, basically like a phone, essentially a sci-fi hollow phone. The other guys didn't. They all have knives. None of them have guns. The one guy outside had an extra clip for the laser rifle, but he didn't get to use that. They don't have ID, but that's normal. Neither do any of you. And there's probably miscellaneous, like one of them has a pack of cigarettes. They all have some kind of, I'm trying to think what the prevailing like narcotic would be on this world. I imagine it's like a hypo.
I think that has shifted recently.
Right. Yeah. So they have on them essentially like a transdermal like injector. It doesn't actually like stick a needle in you, but it injects drugs into your bloodstream like a whatever they're called, hypo spray on Star Trek. They all have those. They look pretty like banged up. Yeah, and they're all empty, but these guys are all drug users, according to the paraphernalia they're carrying around. And Autumn, if you get a look at them, you can see that they are like longtime habitual users of some kind of narcotic. But right now, you're feeling maybe a little too nauseated to get much closer to the action.
Just the poop. That's the main thing she doesn't deal with very well is poop. Blood's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
gross.
Yeah, the room's gonna smell a lot worse, more quickly, unless you can get these bodies out of here. But yeah, when you look over, you see Hugh, and Hugh sort of stands up from whatever he's working on. He sees the two of you have returned, and he says with a smile on his face, "Oh, you just missed all the fun. We're on cleanup duty now. Thankfully," he puts his hands up, "there isn't really much of a security force here in Pilgrims, so there shouldn't be anybody coming to investigate or anything. I've got a compost upstairs we can put these guys in. Put them to good use."
Okay.
And he kind of looks, everybody's just looking at him like, "What the hell?" And he's kind of like, what? Okay, do we need to take a second here? All right, everybody, come on in. Let's just we're gonna have a little huddle. I can see there's some confusion. Everybody looks a little upset. We've got adrenaline running high. Maybe it's time we have a brief conversation. Come on, bring it in, everybody. And Hadeel looks at you, Jasna, like, what the fuck is this guy's deal?
I just sort of shrug a little bit, like, you know.
Okay. All right. So you you come in. He's not doing like a full huddle, but basically he's like, I want to talk to everybody. Like, just come here. We'll have a conversation. And when he starts, he looks at Jasna and Hadeel first, and he says, "Now I know some of you are probably already used to violence. Some of us are born into that life. Others, we have that life thrust on us." And he turns and looks at Haley and Autumn and Johnny. He says, "But that's how it goes. Life is a great and beautiful circle. We're born, we live, we die, and our bodies, if we're lucky, rejoin the earth and it can be used to grow new things. Why, that guy over there who tried to stab me in the neck, he's going to feed my greenhouse for months. That's just how it goes. Now, I know that can feel a little bit uncomfortable, but," and he shrugs, "that's how it works. And, well, these guys were asking for it. They came in here asking questions, trying to find somebody." And he looks at you, Autumn, and he says, "I think you've made some enemies, girl. But well,"
Me?
he nods, and he says, the leader, that guy there," he points, and you see now this guy's been stripped down to his underwear. You can see why they called him Shark. He's got a big, terrible tattoo on his back of a shark, like coming up out of the water. And it's supposed to be an animated tattoo, but it's like glitching, so the tail is like flickering a little bit. And he points like, and he says, "That guy gave a pretty good description of you. Maybe missed it a little on the height, and well, I think you're prettier than he said you were, but definitely you made an enemy. Somebody spotted you out there, but hey, you know what? They're all dead now. So hopefully they're not here in the orders of anybody else. If they are, well, we'll deal with that situation when we get to it. Anyway, we got to make quick work of these bodies. I don't want to get blood getting in the tile, the grout. It's going to take forever to clean. So we good? Everybody feeling okay?"
I have a lot of questions for you, Hugh. Yes.
Right, like he clearly expected that to just be enough to be like, "All
Yeah.
right, okay,
And
team,
that's actually
break, let's
more
go."
of the telling thing than anything else. Does it, Adam, when he's speaking, do I get the impression, do I get any vibes of like there's some nobility there, or like he used to be nobility or anything like that? The way that
Oh.
he was kind of being very, this is the way it is, you should just accept what I say. Does that hint towards
While
nobility?
while he's speaking, if you would like to kind of like analyze his vocal patterns and what have you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I would.
Yeah. Okay. So
Just like
make
try and read his
a
body language and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and he's gonna post. You're gonna make a perception check because there's no differentiation between like in this game there's no difference between like insight and perception, right? It's all just being able to perceive.
It's not
So,
vigilance.
no, you're gonna make a perception check. Vigilance is more like readiness, I think. But
Okay.
let me check because if your vigilance is better and you want to use it, we might as well get clean.
Yeah, it's just that, yeah, my perception's not great, but because I took vigilance as a like trying to read body language stuff, but
Yeah. Okay.
I
Right.
might
So
have
you
made
just
a
don't want to.
mistake.
Okay. So let me read the description. So
Okay.
okay. Vigilance is like passive perception. Perception is like active searching.
Right. Okay. So if somebody
that's the
was,
difference.
if he was
Yeah.
lying to me, he'd use my vigilance as his difficulty.
Yes,
That
correct.
kind of vibe.
Yeah, and then
Right, I
you're
see. Okay.
actively pursuing. Yeah. So he works a bit different than other games, but that's how that.
Okay.
That's
This
how
is
that
me
works.
trying to
Okay.
pick up on his side.
This is
Okay,
you trying
yeah,
to pick
okay,
him
cool,
apart.
cool.
So he's gonna be providing the difficulty based on if he is hiding something, his deception.
Yeah. Okay.
Which like he definitely is. So I think I gotta make a note here of his cunning and then how many ranks in deception he has. So he's pretty good at this. Make a perception check with 1 purple and 2 red in your pool.
Yeah, I'm not.
He was a hard man to read.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just gonna roll this straight.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So
0.
it's not like it all flattens out, right? Everything cancels. So yeah,
you status quo.
You can't get a read on him. I will say this, even with that, your suspicion is still it still holds, right? Like if you'd gotten a despair, I would have been like, Autumn believes him deeply enough to not be suspicious, but you retain your suspicion for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
I think while he's talking, Autumn is examining him, and then he does the like, all right, everybody, got chores to do. And then you can interrupt and be like, hold the fucking phone, Hugh. So yeah, what do you say? Anybody want to interrogate him or ask questions?
I think Haley's pretty over Hugh, but can she try and look through the phone she picked up?
Yeah. Okay. So you take the lead. You take Shark's phone. It is currently locked. It has a passcode on it.
We can crack that, Haley.
Is it Shark? Is the passcode Shark?
It is. So you take the phone and it's like, please insert password, and you're just like SHARK, boop, and it opens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Yep. So the phone, the phone opens up. The screen is cracked. It doesn't have like a hologram display. It's just an analog display, and it looks like he uses it predominantly for like texting, like text-based communication with like other people. And there's a list of the most recent texts are from him to a couple of other people where he's basically bragging. The texts are like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. What does it say? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that bitch is hiding out in some sporting goods store downtown. Me and the boys are gonna go check it out. And that's his last text message. And it's to he doesn't have a contact list. It's just to a number. There's a string of numbers and letters, like a hex string.
Hey, Adam, you want to look at this? Any idea why you're a bitch?
What? No. What? Who are these guys? What did they just came here looking for just me? They weren't here for all of us? They're not some thugs. They're not. You don't think they're with the people that were with Landra, do you? The crazy space pirates?
I mean, judging by the check marks, it just looks like they're druggies, you know? So maybe
why would they? And then there's the like the realization of like, oh no.
All the pieces click together.
But that was like yesterday. They couldn't have. Why would they? No.
Well, it's okay.
Why the Messiah? What?
We dealt with your competition, Adam. You should be happy. Now you can be
it's not my competition.
Queenpin of the entire city.
No, oh, Haley, please don't say that.
I'm still laughing about Haley L. Jackson. What does Autumn Vasca look like?
Say what again?
So Jasna, speaking
she look like a bitch?
Yes. Well, speaking of Brett, Jasna brings the unconscious guy inside, right? And he's still unconscious, but a couple of good slaps would wake him up. So the lookout, the guy that was supposed to be watching the back door, gets dragged in from outside, looking a bit worse the wear from getting the Jasna special in the alley. And so you drag him in, and Hugh is just humming to himself, stripping the bodies. And at one point, Jasna, when you come in, he looks at you and he says, "Oh, I'm gonna need to go get the dolly for these. Well, you all just make yourselves comfortable." And he goes into the back to go and get a dolly to load the corpses onto.
I mean, just to like kind of make it known is that none of this stuff bothers Jasna at all. Like it's very, seen it, understand, like get that he's got to take care of it, that he's also trying to run a business, you know. And in fact, there's probably some comfort in like his ability to just handle that shit because it's just like, great, we don't have to, right? Like but I do want to try to get information out of this guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Is he still alive?
I give Hugh the nod. What's that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Hugh leaves
No, I
the
think
room.
I think Auden would look at Jasna and be like, "Is he still alive?" Like,
Or is it just
if you
us
bring
in
them into the
in
room.
like that back room?
I think
Yes.
it's
would
us
I-
and
Yeah, I
then
mean,
Hugh, right?
Okay.
no,
Okay.
Hugh leaves.
I-
Hugh goes into
he
the
is-
storeroom.
He is
Okay.
still alive. I did not have reason to kill him yet.
So we can get information out of him. We can find out what they were. Why?
That
Why?
is the plan. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I also
Sorry.
would
Sorry.
like to
Yeah.
know why. Yes. So please make sure
Is anyone
that
hurt?
Haley does not shoot this one too.
Haley, did you shoot these men? I assumed Hadeel killed all of these men.
Well, can't judge a book by its cover, can you, Auden?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
I believe
no.
that it was in self-defense for Hugh's self.
Yeah. No. Wow. Okay. Right. Sorry.
We will let this one pass. I think
Haley.
I would have given her that.
Haley and Jasna, but Haley first. I think Haley and Jasna, you notice Napa de Martin. Johnny and Autumn came back, but Martin did not. It
That
occurs
was
to
fine,
you,
right?
You ditched the dead weight.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was so bad, Haley. Oh,
I
he
had
spilled
to
coffee
slam a
all
door
over
in his
himself.
face,
Johnny slammed the door. in his-
spilled the drinks all over him. I feel well.
It's like a
It was necessary. We had to do it.
yeah. We
That's
did.
right. Y'all did great. I'm super proud of both of you.
Excellent. Good. So, yeah. So what's you want to? I guess you want to wake this guy up, right? Do you tie him up
Yes.
first? What are you gonna do with him?
Yeah. We definitely tie him up.
Okay.
course.
Yeah. So you just tie him to a chair or something, and
We get some
he's,
climbing
so-
rope.
Bungee cord.
Yeah,
The rope. Yeah,
yeah.
climbing rope.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. All right. So yeah, he starts to wake up. And seems confused. He was struck in the head several times. So yeah, so he's a bit disoriented. What do you do?
Who all's in the room? We're in the back room, right?
No, you're in the you can be if you want, but you're in the main room for right now.
Okay.
Like the storefront, but the store's
Actual
closed.
storefront.
I'm actually gonna politely request that. Would you mind giving me a moment alone with the prisoner?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, drag him in the other room. There's more of us in here.
I'll do that then. I just like grab the chair and like I'll take him to the back room. Yeah.
I was saying, is it like a wheeled? Is it like a wheeled office chair, and you just grab the back of it and drag it
Yeah.
into the room?
Yeah. I grab
Okay,
one of the
all right.
loose bungees and just kind of like pull him with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you go into the back, and so now you're in Hugh's office, or Hugh's like little like break room. And so in here, there's a small table, a couple of mismatched chairs. There is a safe built into the wall with a little electronics display on it. There's a computer on the desk. There are a couple of empty coffee cups sitting on the desk. There's a calendar that's several years old. And it appears to be a promotional calendar advertising reasons to visit the planet Hyra. And so it's left on its last page, just kind of like hanging on there, and it's a couple of years old. And yeah, the walls and the ceiling have that kind of like cigarette smoke beige color. And you can hear the humming of the heating system. And you wheel this guy in here and shove the chair against the wall, and he starts to wake up, right? So he like looks up at you and like realizes he's tied to a chair and sort of snarls helplessly. And he's like, fuck you! Let me out of the chair! What the hell?
I just am kind of like ignoring all of his pleas and immediately just say, "Your friends are all dead. And, well, you're lucky to be alive. And I suggest you tell me who you are and who you're after, or you may end up like your friends too.
What, everybody's dead? Everyone? Like Tony and Franklin? What about Shark? You better not do anything to Shark. You motherfucker. And he like tries to get out of the chair, like, oh, I'm gonna kill you.
I all of them are dead.
Oh man. Oh man, no. No way, man. What the hell? Oh, come on. And he's just like losing it, just shaking his head back
Game
and forth.
over, man. Game over.
Game over.
Suddenly he's played by Bill Pullman? Bill Paxton. One of the two.
Paxton.
Paxton. You came here for my friend. Yes?
And he shakes his head and he's like, I don't know nothing about nobody. I didn't see anything. You could just let me go and we could pretend like none of this ever happened. It was Shark, man. Shark made us do it. He was like, we got to go to that store, man, and wait for that lady. And then when she gets there, and then the fat guy was there, and then he was punching him, and they made me wait outside because I told him like, don't punch that fat guy, Shark. And Shark was like, fuck you, Peanuts, get outside. And I was like, what the hell, man? And so I went outside, and they gave me the gun.
Why?
And then that kid, there was that little kid, and then oh God, man,
Stop.
What the fuck?
Stop. Why did Shark want the girl?
Because she's competition, man. The 121 own this neighborhood. Some bitch making drugs. This is our turf. This is 121 turf.
Was my character even privy to that? I was there. Yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Everyone was there as I developed a new thing to sell.
So you are drug traffickers, smugglers, distributors?
I don't know what any of that shit means, man. We just sell drugs.
And you think this girl is your competition?
And he nods. He was like, yeah, Shark heard some stuck-up bitch was coming in our territory. And the 121, we don't take that shit. So we got our hands on some surveillance, and we came out here and she wasn't here. And then that fat guy, he was...
How did Shark find out about this girl?
It's like, I don't know, man. I'm not... Shark's the guy in charge. You should ask him.
Okay. Maybe like I pop my head out and I'm like, Haley, how is the progress on the phone?
Right. So Haley, you're digging around in the phone. Okay. Would you like to know what you found so far?
Yes, please.
So Shark's social calendar contains no information. There are no calendar dates there. Shark does not appear to have owned this phone for very long. It looks like the phone was recently rebooted to the point where this is probably not. I'm gonna guess Shark did not buy this phone firsthand. Did not buy it from a retail environment. There are only messages from Shark to this other number. The other number does not seem to reply to Shark, or else he deletes the messages as they come in. But the sent folder has all of these messages. There is one message in his like inbox that contains a video file. It comes from an anonymized from address, and the subject line is "That thing I promised you." And then in the images folder, there are a lot of pictures of what you have to assume is Shark's penis. Like a lot. Like hundreds. Just hundreds and hundreds of badly lit photographs of Shark's genitals. Unfortunately.
Well, other than this dude's limp dick, there's a video.
You said that
what is
the
the video?
yeah.
We could watch it. It might
I mean,
just
it's
be
got to
of
be
his
better
limp
than the
dick,
image
though.
folder.
I will
Could just
watch
be
it.
more.
I grab the phone.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So
Wow,
you take
Jasna,
it.
learn some manners, please.
Give me that thing.
I am
No
only trying to
snacking.
protect you. You do not know what this video is. If there are copious pictures of his zimp dick, as you say, you do not know. This could be all flopping in your face, Haley.
I'm older
I
than
am-
you, Jasna.
He is.
It's true.
It
Okay.
is my job to protect you.
It is, yeah. So Jasna, you take the phone and you disable the parental filter on it. And
How'd you do that?
yeah,
Possible.
this is the thing. Yeah, just wait. There's going to be a moment later on where everyone is in terrible, terrible danger, and all Haley has to do is open a child-proof container to save them, and you won't be able to. It'll be very tragic. So the video that you watch here, Yasna, is a clip of a larger video. It has a watermark on it that says property of Prism, and has the Prism logo in the corner. It has on a glance, it has all of the like digital artifacting of, like, it's clear that this file was cracked in some way. Like, it had copy protection or it had visibility protection, and it was cracked poorly and quickly. So there's damage to the file. But even so, you can see clearly. You can see a group of people coming out of a pharmacy, and the camera focuses for a moment on Autumn. And there is a clip that has been cleaned up enough that you can get a clear shot of Autumn, and then the camera goes off. The file like clears back out.
Okay. I actually hand back the phone and then walk back into the back room.
While
so-
Jasna goes, before Jasna goes back into the room, I'm going to look at Haley and be like, you said that there was no received messages, but there's an outgoing number, right? Do you think
Yeah.
maybe you and I could try and reverse GPS track where that number is? If it's on, it should be on the planet, right? So we could maybe find out where the messages were being sent. Maybe not who, but maybe a location.
Right, or we could just text them and ask where they are.
They don't reply.
It's Shark. Are you up? Question mark.
Yo, you up? New phone. Who dis?
I want to try that.
Okay, well, we can try that, but if that doesn't work, maybe
Okay.
we can hack the GPS.
Okay.
But sure, you try the new phone. Who dis?
Okay. All right. So Hugh returns from the storeroom, and he's pushing a little like anti-grav, like a suspensor pallet, basically. And he pushes it into the room, and Hadeel, who is like stripped all the bodies, a bunch of naked dead people in the room, looks at you, Johnny, and is like, "Can you give me a hand with these?" And starts lifting the bodies and piling them on the sled.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So as you
Johnny
do,
picks up like 2 bodies at a time or something.
yeah, right. Yeah. So Hugh says to you, Johnny, noticing this, he's like, "Oh boy, wow, you're a strong one. Could have used you last time."
Well, you just need help lifting things. I'm your guy.
He says, I've got a little gardening to do later. Maybe you can give me a hand, Johnny."
Sure. I've always wanted a garden.
And he smiles, and this is it's a proud smile, like he's excited to show you his garden. And he says, "Well, we'll get all these guys up on the sled. We'll take them upstairs, and I'll show you the greenhouse."
All right, sounds good. I'm ready.
All right, so you're
Johnny
doing
was
that. You and
genuinely
Hadeel,
excited about this.
yeah, loading the bodies up, and then Jasna, as you're going into the back room, you hear a crash. There's a loud crashing sound from the back room.
All right. Well, I then pick up my pace and run back
just
there.
keep dashing a little bit. Okay. All right. So you come in and you see that Peanuts, in an attempt to escape, has knocked the chair over, and a couple of the coffee cups have fallen off of the table, and he is now lying on his side, kicking his feet, trying to get the chair upright or to like free himself. And he doesn't see you come in. He's just laying there grunting like, "Fucking chair, motherfucker! I got shit. Come on, Peanuts, get it together. Come on, man." And so you see him squirming around on the floor.
Like walk around to kind of like where his head are. He can like clearly see my feet as I'm walking around, and I just kind of squat down. To talk to him.
Come on! Just let me go, please. Come on.
Peanuts, is it?
And he nods. He's like, yeah, that's what the boys call me.
Peanuts, I am not sure if we are going to let you go, but you must answer my questions for me to determine that.
What do you mean you don't know if you're going to let me go? What's the alternative? What's the alternative, man?
The alternative is we will hand you over to Hugh, the man that you were assaulting who owns this shop. And trust me, Hugh is taking care of your dead friends now. He has been speaking of his garden, which I am sure is not what we think it is. Regardless, I am your friend, and you should answer my questions.
He looks at you, and you can see him weighing this. Make a coerce roll coercion here. I think the difficulty to coerce this guy is going to be 1 purple. He's not a resilient man. This Peanuts.
All right, 1 purple.
Yeah.
My coercion isn't awesome, but let's try it.
Okay. Whoa, damn. Okay. All right. So mark a strain. Dealing with Peanuts is always a little stressful, but 3 good shapes for you. So it works.
I have one question actually. Because I have advantage, can I cancel out strain with advantage?
Or
do you have to use it for like a roll?
So it's when you get it, you either choose to convert it into like strain recovery immediately, or you hold it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So you'll take a strain, but next time you can bleed off. So anyway, he's lying on his side. You see him make the decision not to like, and so he says to you, he's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, okay, sure. What?
Okay.
Do you? Okay, yeah.
How are you connected to the pharmacist?
I don't know a pharmacist, man. What is that somebody's code name or?
Do we know? Do I know this guy's name? God,
his name is Ernesto.
Ernesto.
Jasna would remember.
Okay,
but
I remembered Ernesto. Ernesto. His name is Ernesto. Your friend Shark had a video on his phone from Ernesto's pharmacy, and I believe you know him.
He shakes his head and he says, Shark had a lot of deals going, man. I don't know. He doesn't tell us shit, man. I've been telling him we need to restructure the hierarchy, man, but he won't listen. Shark's a dictator.
Well, you are the head honcho now, Peanuts.
And he kind of looks at you like, wait.
I am dying, dude. When Jasna says Peanuts, I'm like, I think pinnacle of comedy for me.
Listen to me, Peanuts.
Peanuts.
I'm going to kill you.
Peanuts.
Never underestimates the power of the Peanuts. So he squirms in the chair and he's like, wait, what do you mean?
I mean, you have the juice now, Peanuts.
And he nods.
Shark's
dead, but everybody else is dead too. So, but listen, I'm just a victim of circumstance here, man. I had a bad life. My parents never hugged me enough, man. You got to let me go. I'll turn it around. I'll go become a monk or whatever. I didn't mean to hurt anybody. I didn't even punch that guy. I was just outside with the gun. I wasn't going to use it. I promise.
I'm like, well, I'm not ready to make my decision yet. So stop escaping. I can hear you in the other room. Just be patient and wait.
And he nods and he says, could you lift me back up off the floor? I kind of fell on my keys.
Your keys? I like lift him up and then take his keys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in his pocket, there's a keychain. Yeah, it's got a little a little fob on it. And I think probably yeah, there's a car, like a vehicle operation fob, that might also double as like a house key. And then there's a decorative, like a foam peanut with a top hat on, and it's hanging off of his keychain.
I got his name. Amazing. I love it. I love peanuts.
Okay.
I want to keep them.
I will hold on to these to make sure they are safe. I will be right back.
Do you help him up or do you just leave him? Yeah, you pick him up.
No,
right?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I helped him up.
Okay. So yeah,
Take his
he nods and he's like, I'll just, okay, yep, I'll just stay here.
Okay.
And then you walk back out. So
I
meanwhile,
walk back out.
Autumn, you're surveying the action. Haley, you're gonna send a text message. What is the contents of this text message to the mysterious number?
It says, I got the bitch. Where you at?
Like, I think like Autumn is like watching over Haley's shoulder and she's like, no, don't spell that correctly. Just put U. Just put the letter U. Don't spell it all out.
Okay.
Yeah. That looks good. Maybe put a 1 instead of the I. Yeah.
Oh, maybe Autumn lay on the ground and look dead, and we can send a pic.
Oh, I could I'll go to like near one of the blood stains, but not on it, because then I'd get blood on me, and then I'll like lay face down near the blood pile. Yeah.
roll your eyes back in your head, but just like a little.
No, I'll just do this, and I kind of get my hair and splay it so it covers my face, and it's like dramatic crime scene photo.
Okay, that looks pretty good. Put your tongue out a little bit. Perfect. You look horrible.
Thanks. Have you taken it?
No, pull the front of your shirt down a little. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Okay, now
no.
Look at me. Yeah. So Haley, you attempt to create a simulation of a dead Autumn, and you take a picture of it on this phone's terrible camera.
I mean, Haley's pretty good at this. That's what showbiz is all about.
Yeah. Haley always wanted to direct. So yeah, so there's this, you've got the scene, you take a picture, the bad camera actually helps, and then you send it to that number with I got her, where are you at? And then there's a pause, and then you see the number is responding. And then the reply is just casualties ?
Can we just say
At
yes?
least one? Like one? Yeah, no, we don't know any of their names. They gotta have like nicknames, right?
One of them is named Penis.
Penis? Yeah. Yeah, one. Penis.
Unfortunately, we lost Penis.
Yeah.
Wait, did we hear any of the other names?
Yeah, he told me all of them. Yeah.
Yasna
Yasna
did, but Haley and Autumn didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. Just say we lost one. Penis.
Let's say we lost the skinny one.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Maybe call him Skins, or like skinny with an I.
Yeah, maybe we should just go ask the one that's conscious.
Jasna said that she wanted to speak to him alone. I don't want to disturb Jasna. She's doing her Jasna thing.
We don't want to blow our operation because we're making
You gotta
that
respond
bad
now. If we wait
nickname.
too long, they're gonna know something's up.
Okay, I'll just say yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Yes.
So you
Send tweet.
Yeah.
Okay,
Y-E. Yeah.
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 okay. So you reply.
Always, baby.
Again, long pause, and then the reply comes back. The shopkeep? Question mark.
Beat him good. Who knows?
I like beat him good.
That's what they taught. That's they're like.
No, I like it. Let's send that.
Beat him good. Who knows? Shrug emoji.
Internal
they would have
bleeding.
beat him up.
Internal bleeding's a bitch.
Yeah.
I like
characters who are not
beat him
tough,
up
attempting to
good. Who knows? Shrug emoji.
Okay, shrug,
Yeah,
shrug emoji. Shrug emoji. Got it. Okay, the response comes quicker this time. It says, kill him. Burn the shop down.
Where are you?
Okay, but where do I bring her?
And you replied, like, where do I bring her? Burn.
I don't know.
It comes back. Burn the body too. I'm surprised you need this much hand holding, Shark. Get to it.
Okay.
Okay, now this is important. Is it uppercase K period? Is it okay no period? Is it K smiley face emoji?
No, it's okay, period.
Period. Then say where I get my money.
Where I get my money?
Yeah, money with MONEH.
How do we know that was their arrangement?
Where I get my money.
Do the
I
previous
don't know.
previous
Doing it for money.
do the previous syntax indicate that there was like a deal between them, or what does it indicate?
No, the indication you get from the previous text is Shark was really excited about being in charge of this operation, right? Of being like, I'm gonna do it. Also, it doesn't seem like anybody is telling Shark to do this. So it's like Shark said, basically Shark's messages are like, he sent a picture of some kind of like injector or whatever, and with like WTF, and the next one is it's not ours. I don't know. And then several days later, several hours later, there's another text that's like might have a source, checking it out, and then can you ask the boss for surveillance, and then going to the shop now with the boys. And then so like Shark is in charge, but he's not the boss, right? And he's talking to somebody else who was like helping organize this hit, basically.
Okay, how about the response?
Oh, there's also in the sent folder, there's also like 100 messages to numbers you don't recognize with no reply, where he was just sending pictures of his genitals to people.
Okay, I think maybe our best bet is to send a pic of his dick. And then say on it where we celebrating with a dick pic.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're assuming that Shark is the kind of person who, if he has good news, he accompanies it with a picture of his genitals. Just to be like,
he sent this dick pic to all these other numbers. It's like his signature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they
Grandma
react weird about
just
it,
got back
we
from
can
her
just
hip
say,
surgery. Congratulations, Grandma. Wiener, wiener, wiener.
Well, if they're weird about it, we just say, "Whoops, wrong number. Sorry."
Yeah.
Okay, so
right.
you send a
that.
photograph of Shark's genitals with the text. What does it say? Where are we celebrating?
Yeah. On it, period, where we celebrating, question mark, question mark, question mark, champagne clink glass emoji.
Okay, all right, good.
No
Good.
syringe
Eggplant
emoji.
emoji.
Eggplant, syringe, and then some miscellaneous emoji. Okay, so you send it. The response comes back. We talked about this, shark. Fuck off. And then a period.
All right.
Ha-
I'm.
have
Can
I?
Yeah. Go on.
So
go on.
I want to cut to upstairs. So
Yeah.
Johnny,
Okay.
you and Hadeel and Hugh take the body cart. It's literally a pile of dead bodies. You take it into the back. They're all naked. Take it into the back to an elevator. There's a little like cargo elevator there, and Hugh says to Hadeel, "Thanks, Hadeel. I think Johnny and I can handle it from here." And he turns to you and he says, "Come on upstairs with me, Johnny." And the door opens and he pushes the little humming wagon thing into the elevator and he gets in.
Okay.
And you want to get in with him?
Yeah, absolutely. Johnny is very he's got a kind of a jaunty stride, he's like, I'm helping somebody. I'm not
Okay,
spilling
all right.
coffee in someone's face. Feels good.
Yeah. So you come inside and the door of the elevator closes and he makes a face. He hits the button, he makes a little face, and he looks at you kind of apologetically. He's like, "Oh, sorry about the smell. Wait, do you have," and he taps his nose, "olfactory sensors?"
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't really bother me that much though. I've smelled
Yeah.
dead bodies before.
He's like, "Oh, is that so?"
Yeah. So
You know,
not a big deal. Pretty familiar actually.
and he says, "That's good. That's a healthy way of looking at things. See, they're not people anymore. Once they're dead, it's just meat."
Right.
And you ride this slightly clunky elevator upstairs, and it opens, and immediately a few things are evident to you when it opens. So the humidity up here is very different than downstairs. It's much warmer, and the air is full of all kinds of like flower and plant smells. And that's just with the door opening. When you come in, there is literally a greenhouse. The second story is it's like an artificial. It's got all these panels in the ceiling of artificial light, like sunlight coming down on all of these beautiful plants. It's like basically tropical up here. There are ferns kind of all along the ground. There are orchids growing. The whole place has a sudden like verdancy to it. And under all of that, there is the sort of like slightly rotting, like earthy smell of compost. And Hugh says, "We'll just take him into the back and, well, come on." And he starts pushing the little thing out into his greenhouse.
All right. Right here with you.
Yeah. So yeah, and so he pushes it through, and you can see him. He's looking around, like with an obvious sense of pride and care. Like he doesn't just kind of barrel through the place. He's looking at the plants as he passes them, and he kind of like nodding, and you can see him like assessing the plants. Like he's kind of checking on them as he walks by, and he's pushing them towards the back, and he does cast a glance at you to be like, are you impressed? What do you think? You like it? Like he gives you a little look, kind of like he's waiting to see if you say anything.
I don't know if Johnny says anything. I don't know if he would be impressed by this.
Okay.
Maybe he would. I don't know, just because of like the technology of it all. He might be like, "Oh, this is so what's that thing do? That large red crane thing."
And yeah, he's happy to explain that. Like, if you ask even the like littlest sort of provoking question, he'll go into a proud explanation. And yeah, he happily tells you, this is his passion project, right? Like he lives to shelter helpless things, and it's great being able to help people like you who are on the run, you and your friends. But really, up here, this is where his heart is. And he talks about the various plants and points out like, yeah, none of these are native to Kabina. I had to source the cuttings or the seeds myself. This represents well over a decade of hard work on my part. I don't mean to brag, but well, I don't think you'll find any other place like it on Kabina. Certainly not here. Oh, I do love them. And he continues pushing the corpse wagon towards the back. And when you get there, you see there is I guess there's like a machine of some kind. Now, when he's talked about compost, maybe you expected like a pile of dirt or something. I don't know how much Johnny knows about gardening, but instead there is a like a cylinder, essentially a tall cylinder with the word compost written on it. It looks like it's been sandblasted and repainted. The surface of it used to have paint, but it's been cleared off. And then there's a door on the front. And he walks over and he pushes the button, and you can see that there is a grate, sort of just above the bottom of this cylinder. And he says, he takes a look and he says, "I think we're gonna have to do them one at a time, Johnny. Just go ahead and put one of those bodies in there for me, would you?"
Yeah, sure, no problem. And Johnny just without any effort, just picks up a body, boink, tosses it in.
Yeah. And he looks at you and he nods and says, "Wow, you sure are useful. Thanks, by the way. I appreciate the help. I used to be able to do all this myself, but well, haven't been able to maintain my former musculature." He pats his belly.
Yeah,
says,
sure.
He hits a button and the composter closes. There's a little progress bar that lights up like ready, and there's a button on it. And he turns to you and he says, "Did they and my apologies if this is an awkward question for you, Johnny, but are you're a religious person, Johnny? Do you feel the presence of God?"
Well, no, can't say that I do. I've seen people who claim to know God or might be God, but so far not really into the whole God thing.
And he nods and he says, it was it was a matter of some debate for us whether or not it was more spiritually significant that we were born desiring salvation or that we found it in life. Never could make a decision on that one myself. I'm a God-fearing man, Johnny. I hope you don't mind if I say a few words.
Go for it. Yeah. What words do you want to say? I mean, there are a lot of them.
And he nods and he says, I won't be long." And he turns and he looks at the composter and he says quietly, in the way of a person praying, where he'll speak out loud because then God will hear him. It isn't for you; it's for him. And he says, "Blessed God, of whom we are all children, may you take this empty vessel and return it to the earth, so that by our hand we might make growth from death. Amen." And he slams the button, and the composter makes a low, sort of like subsonic humming sound, vibrates slightly as the progress bar like clicks, and then it goes clunk, and it hits the top, and it beeps a couple of times, like boop, boop, beep. And he's like, there we go. And he hits the button again, and it slides open. There is a faint kind of mist in there, but nothing else. The body is just gone. There is a kind of like verdant, like earthy smell coming from the composter. And he looks inside and he squints and he says, "Oh, hold on." And he reaches in and he pulls out and he's holding a gold tooth. And he goes, "Composter." And he shrugs and he tosses the tooth to you. And he says, "Let's get the rest of them in here."
Sure. All right. Johnny puts the gold tooth in his pocket.
Okay. All right. So you help Hugh load the bodies into the composter, and one by one, essentially disintegrate them into their base materials. And Hugh, he does it with a kind of like practical reverence. Like it's clear that it's not the dead that he cares about. It's this process of returning the dead to the earth, of like using the bodies for something. And while this is happening, Johnny, is there anything you could talk to him, or you just observing him, or is there anything that you want to do while you have this time alone with Hugh?
So, when did you start burning bodies?
Oh, well, it's not burning them exactly. This isn't a cremation process. We use a combination of radiation and subsonic vibration to separate the hard matter from the soft matter. The vibration break down the skin, the hair, the flesh, the fat. It takes a bit longer depending on how big the subject is. And then we take the bones and they move on to a second process where then we apply some heat, some pressure, crush them down, make them into a sort of meal, and combine them with the fleshy material. It's great fertilizer. And he turns and he looks over, and there's this beautiful cluster of purple orchids. And he looks at it and he says, I try to pair up the fertilizer with the kind of plants that I'm growing. That right there, those beautiful orchids, that was a couple of nosy crux investigators came by some months ago. He shakes his head and he says, I think they're much more beautiful now. I like to think they would have appreciated the color at least. And he shrugs.
Oh shit.
Johnny
What
kind
color?
of scratches himself.
The orchids are purple.
absentmindedly.
Yeah.
And he agrees with him and nods, and just kind of ponders for a second, and then asks, "Well, what did the crux want?"
Oh, well, they were looking for Sarah, some of her friends. But
Sarah.
well, yeah, he nods.
Oh, okay. Huh. So they're the flowers now, huh?
And he nods. He says, I was worried that the neurotoxin would damage the flesh, rob it of some of its nutritional value, but it seems like the orchids are doing just fine.
A neurotoxin.
Oh yeah, the store was closed for a week while I fumigated. They came in. I had to shut the store and just flood the whole place. I'm still operating at 40, maybe 45% capacity. That reminds me. And he takes out his phone and he types "get neurotoxin" into his reminders app, and then tucks it back into his pocket. He's like, "Thanks for reminding me."
Hey, no sweat. Maybe I can help you find neurotoxin. I might know a guy.
He puts his hands up and he says, "Oh no, don't you worry. I've got plenty of connections."
Well, all right. Hey, I just wanted you to know that we really appreciate you letting us stay here and everything. Would there be a way to maybe tell if someone is a spy for the crux?
Oh, well, it depends. What kind of person are we talking about?
Well, maybe not so much a person. Maybe a synth.
Hey,
Maybe-
now you
maybe
take
there's a way
that
for
back.
you to-
And when you say that, he interrupts you and he turns with this kind of like disappointed to fatherly kind of effect. He's like, you just hold on right there. Synthetic people are people too, even if they might be, susceptible to reprogramming. We have to remember, I think, therefore I am. Right, Johnny?
And Johnny kind of puffs out his chest and he goes, "Right, of course. Yeah. Sorry. I forgot."
He
And
says,
then he just looks very
he's
like
it's
all of a sudden just
yeah,
beamed.
and he says this, and it has no context for you. It's clearly a joke because he laughs after he says it, but he says, that's right. Now let's not go putting the cart before the horse. I think we're almost done.
All right, yeah.
And you have no idea what that joke means. Like, yes, don't put the cart before the. Okay.
Okay, so how many bodies do we have left?
And he says, I think that big guy's the last of them. Now, you were saying something about a spy. You have a synth you don't trust?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. We left him for dead on another planet because he was being real mean to everybody. And then all of a sudden we see him. He just pops up here. And we don't know why. He's nice. He's forgotten everything that he's done to us. And he just seems like a real nice guy all of a sudden. And it's very odd for everyone. And I felt so bad for him because I thought he might be a changed synth person. But not everyone agrees with me. So I think there might be something wrong with him, and I'd like to maybe see if maybe he's got some sort of camera or like a retina scanner or something.
Well, you got a couple of options, far as I see it. Either this old friend of yours is indeed the same person, and he's either lying to you about where his loyalties lie, or he's lying to you and he doesn't know it on account of being reprogrammed. When was the last time you saw him?
Oh, jeez.
It would have been just over 2 weeks, maybe a little longer, right?
What, Martin? I mean, I thought I saw him just like a couple hours ago.
Oh no, he means like the last time you saw him before, like when he was
like
normal.
Martin.
Yeah.
Geez, probably a couple weeks back. Yeah. We went through a lot. So, you know.
And he says, oh, well, anything short of a couple of months, depending on how much money you got, it's going to be a hack job. Real quick in and out. Reconfiguring of some of the synapses. It'll be predominantly and he scowls. He says, well, it depends on how formidable the people that reprogrammed him are. But I'm going to guess that this is a real quick layer job. That's the thing. These triangles, they think they know how they work, but they just don't. You know, you can flash the temporary memory, but you can't fix the core stuff. So whatever's happened to him, if this is the same person, well, he's going to be easily confused, probably going to have all kinds of memory problems, and prone to dangerous and unpredictable behavior.
Oh.
So if you keep an eye on him and he acts squirrely, something like that might be an indication. Now, he scratches his head. There is another option. It could be an entirely different model altogether. Is this friend of yours particularly attractive? Does he have any unusual talents, special abilities, that kind of thing?
Well, gee, I don't know. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure if he had any real talents besides complaining.
He nods and he says, you know, that's the thing. So many of them are programmed to be more human than human, and so all the good and the bad gets amplified. I bet you it's not this guy's fault if he's a bother. That's a shame about it. Well, if you think he's been reprogrammed and you don't think that he's got any special talents or abilities, it's probably the same synth. So, really, the only way to know for sure is, well, you got to examine him, both mentally and physically.
Yeah.
Sometimes these hack jobs involve alteration of the brain tissue, something to do with the spine. If he's got any scars he didn't have before, especially, up there, shaved head, didn't have one before, injury to the head, might be covering it, something like that. Maybe he's wearing a scarf or a hat. That kind of thing, usually a good giveaway. Otherwise, damage to damage to the eyes. You can usually tell. Sometimes these hack jobs, the light patterns they use, they damage the vision. So
What
he
if
nods.
I could bring him to you?
Well, I and you can see him like struggling to answer this, right? He's like kind of mulling it over in his head. And he says, well, if you think it's not safe, you got to remember, Johnny, bringing danger here, and I'm going to have this conversation with Autumn, because I think that's why those boys we just ran through the composter, I think that's why they came. But if they're dangerous and you bring them here, it's only going to bring trouble on me and on your friends.
Yeah, that's a real good point. I didn't even think about it. I'm just trying to think of a way we can maybe save the poor guy. I mean, do you believe in souls?
And he nods and he says, I do, Johnny.
I feel like that guy's probably got a soul in there somewhere. And maybe it was just programmed right out of him. Like he's not supposed to have one. But I think he does.
He puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, well, whether you're programmed with his grace or not, I think there's some godliness in you somewhere, Johnny. And he says, listen, if you can find this old friend of yours and get him somewhere safe. Now, not here, mind you, because he looks around. Stakes are a little too high. Get him somewhere safe and hold him there. Maybe I can come take a look at him. And at least let you know if he's been tampered with.
All right. I'll do my best. How will I let you know when I got him?
He just says to you, oh, you can just give me a call. And he's still got his phone like around, so he just takes it. And I guess, do you have a communication device yourself, Johnny? No? Okay.
Nope.
So he'll just send it to your memory, which is essentially showing it to you, but you have like limited, I think, Wi-Fi basically. So yeah, he'll just beam it to you, and now you know his comm number.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So he says again, like the last of the composting is done. He says, I really did appreciate your help. It's a shame when these kinds of things happen. It's a damn shame every time any life has to come to an end, but they all do. And hopefully we can make better use out of these boys than they did with their own lives, huh? Better luck next time, gents. He kind of taps the side of the machine and he says, why don't we head downstairs? We'll go see how your friends are doing.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for the talk.
Absolutely my pleasure, Johnny. All right, so the two of you head back to the elevator. So meanwhile, downstairs, Jasna, I believe you had a little bit more interrogating you wanted to do. Peanuts is laying on the floor.
I had left the back room, and I'm curious at what point in the texting, if like that, right?
You better walk in when Haley is sending someone a dick pic.
Yes, sure. Yeah, that sounds fine. Jasna, you look over Haley's shoulder, and Haley is sending pictures of a dead man's penis to a stranger.
How is the phone investigation?
Going pretty well, to be honest.
What?
Whoever Shark was working for is pretty cagey about who they are, but they're definitely responding.
Wait, you're talking to them? I ask if I can I read the exchange?
Sure. Just a heads up, there's a dick pic in there.
Yeah.
So I'm reading through,
Mhm.
and I say, why don't you tell him we have something he might want?
I sent him the dick pic. They didn't seem
No,
interested.
not the dick pic, but tell him that you uncovered a large stash of drugs at the shop, and what should we cannot burn it down?
Oh, I
Good
thought we were
idea.
trying to figure out where they were, not bring them here.
Yeah, but I'm guessing this guy will want to. Yeah, either he'll come here, or maybe we could suggest taking them somewhere, like a meet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Do you want me to respond?
Yeah, my hands are tired.
I mean,
Okay,
the
then-
phone is a
Just
little bit
say
big for
yeah.
your tiny, adorable hands, right? Your thumbs don't reach the middle of the screen, so you have to type like this. Yeah.
Got the bitch. Where you at?
I'm really glad that 1100 years later, phones have not changed at all.
Of
At
course
all,
they're
yeah.
just
Of course not.
Still emojis and still, group text.
I feel
Adam,
like
what
emojis
when?
would survive longer than English will. So
Oh yeah, it's hieroglyphics, modern day hieroglyphics.
So
And while Jasna is messaging, I'm just thinking
Yeah.
if the guy's going to respond, that would infer that a signal is being sent to the phone. Could I use my compad or whatever to try and follow the signal where it's coming from?
I do not think
Like,
that
ping it?
I don't think your
I need hacking.
your consumer issue device has the software required to do that.
We should buy hacking. Cool hack.
Yeah, you need somebody around to computer it, and you don't have the equipment for that. So, yeah. You hear a door open, and Johnny and Hugh come back, and they come back in, and Hugh, I think, immediately just walks over to the he takes the mop out of the back and then goes to go and clean it up, clean up the blood on the floor.
I respond, hey, about burning down the shop. I found a large stash of transdermals and a bunch of money.
Are you at all concerned that the person receiving this message is going to hear your French accent in these texts?
What do you mean?
Nothing. So
I think Haley and Autumn probably you check it no, you gotta write it like this, you're being too formal. He doesn't know
None of these words have Z's in them, Jasna. What are you doing?
Come on.
It's spelled THE, not ZE. Jasna, come on. So I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing about especially people who are involved in drug manufacturing, but really anything like this. The use of a word like transdermals would actually not be that out of character, because often people who are obsessed with something learn the terminology for the thing, even if normally it would be way too advanced for their life, right? Like if you ask somebody who makes meth what chemicals you use, they'd be able to list them for you and where to get them and what they're in. So it make drug terminology like that is probably reasonable.
Maybe
but
could I suggest to Jasna? I'd maybe suggest to Jasna say something like, yo, found this bitch's special gear or special mix.
I just looking at Autumn
bitch.
What?
Yo, bitch, found the Krabby Patty formula.
Oh, so you're just gonna make up new drug slang on the fly?
Well, I think something along the lines
boss,
of implying
Daddy, we're on the flip flop and found the big green. Come on down to the
got that
hornet's
electric
nest.
lettuce.
Found entire carton of jazz cigarettes. Please come
to
check
my
out.
God.
Yeah.
I think the idea is hinting that we found, because they came here because I was manufacturing something new, right? So the idea is hinting that he's found a sample of the drug Autumn is selling, and he's you should check this out. This shit is this shit is top or something like that.
I love Autumn attempting to be gangster. It's the best. Just
it is
straight out of prep school. So let's.
And I imagine like it's like bad, like the academy, like you know how like posh kids when they go to private school, they probably did like drugs and they knew like a bit of a crim and stuff like that. It's all secondhand knowledge through those people.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Okay, well, so there's gonna be a roll here, and it's gonna be deception. And I need to just check. I want to see. I think Streetwise might also be relevant here, but let me take a look at the description for Streetwise because
It sounds.
let's see. Oh yeah, totally. You want to understand particular. It's literally in the book. Your character wants to understand particular references or slang in a conversation. So let's start there. Whoever is going to be the person composing this message is going to make a Streetwise check.
I have 1 rank in Streetwise.
I have 0.
Pool, Anna?
Huh?
So
What's your total pool?
Yeah, if you rolled Streetwise, what would you be rolling?
A yellow and a green.
Okay, so yeah, I've got 2 greens, so better than me.
Okay. Nobody is better at Streetwise than Haley, right?
3 greens, which I don't think is better than.
Ooh.
Okay, so what you're gonna do, Haley, is if Autumn and Jasna are both helping you compose this message, Haley, you're gonna roll Streetwise with 2 additional blue dice, 1 each from Autumn and Jasna. And tell me what are you trying to do here? If you get what you want, if you succeed, what will you get?
I think we want to meet where they are, right? We want to go to where they are.
Find out where they
You'll
are.
convince, right? You'll
Is that
convince
right,
them.
Marcus?
Yeah, like Peanut's useless at this point. You guys have, the boss or whatever. I'm just thinking that like he wouldn't want to burn it down if there's a large shipment of something here. So like, and maybe money or something. So yeah, maybe that will either get us to them or get them here.
Like, because we don't want to draw another spider to us. We want to go and like destroy the web kind of thing. Or do we not care?
We
Do
want to
just wanna
destroy
convince
the
them?
web, Adam.
Okay, cool.
Autumn's going to be
put
the
on-
best goddamn drug runner on this planet if it's the
like-
last
We
thing that we
support
do.
you in your dreams, Autumn. We love you so
Oh,
much.
God,
We're
what
so
a what a
proud.
good,
coming after
What a
us
good-
again.
what a good bunch of friends. Like, what can we do here? We want to help Autumn's small business survive. So we're gonna go and
Actually,
take out the competition.
I'm gonna
It's-
retweet. I'm gonna make a video showcasing the merch, and I'm gonna kill all competitors.
So
That's the kind of supportive friend I am.
I
And I'm
would
gonna leave
say
some 5-star reviews.
deep
Yep.
down, at least what my motivation is like I want to get us off this planet, and I think that there could be leverage in all of this to make that happen.
Right, so
Okay.
you're starting to see you're trying to play the bigger game, and you need more information. Okay.
Right.
If we
Alright,
go to the boss and say, "Hey, give us a ship, and we'll get off your planet, and you can go back to making drugs," kind of vibe.
Right. And you can have the
get access to the
And
one.
we'll give you the secret Krabby Patty formula.
yes.
Okay. Okay, so you're gonna make a Streetwise roll to make this seem like realistic, basically. You just need one success to get the vernacular down, and then you'll make a deception roll. And really, what you're doing right now is you're angling for advantage. You actually want one success and then as many advantages as you can get, because those are going to be blue dice for the deception roll, right? Because the deception roll is going to be the real hard one, and it's cool because that'll probably be our last roll. So make that Streetwise roll, make it difficulty 2, just to understand the correct lingo.
Okay. Can I add a story point, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Think back to that one movie. We played a orphan
Where I
becomes a
played
hardened criminal.
a street urchin.
Angels with dirty souls.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
You played the Oyaboon of a small. Hot damn!
Oh
All right.
my god!
Oh my god!
You don't
No
get
advantage.
any.
Is this?
You don't get
Fucking
any
up
of
the
the. You
stack
don't get
for
any
this
of
year.
the advantage that you wanted to roll in here. But that 5 success means you perfectly understand the nuance of this environment's drug underground lingo. You know exactly what to call things by pure vocabulary alone. There's no way for them to like know that this isn't a gangster. You are perfectly authentic. You are imitating them exactly. So roll deception. And this is where it gets unorthodox because Shark is not a guy who gives orders. Shark takes them. So by saying to them like we're gonna meet, Shark, you're acting as if Shark suddenly thinks he has an advantage over them, where he's like, you have something to offer.
I thought it would be more like an offering. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I got this stuff for you.
Right. Okay.
Let me set it at your feet. Kind of thing.
I'll bring it to you.
So, but
I
here's
got
the
this
thing,
good stuff.
Shark would know where to go to do that. Shark wouldn't have to ask, where are you? If that was a thing, Shark would have a communication.
Yeah.
So if you want to lure them out of their hiding or whatever, then you need you need something like that.
Okay.
So again, tell me before you roll, because we need to know the circumstances of the roll. Before you roll, if you succeed, the reply will be what? An address of a place to meet them, or hang on, I'm coming to you. Which do you prefer?
Place to meet.
What do y'all think?
Do you want to lure them here?
Oh, I think
Well,
you lure them, definitely.
If we get them here, we definitely have an advantage. Like, we can set up what potentially could happen versus like going into.
Right,
Yeah.
you can set up an ambush instead of walking into one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
All right.
You probably
So
won't
Haley, go ahead and get your dice pool here. So you're going to be making a deception roll.
Very
difficulty
good.
Is going the difficulty is going to be. This is pretty difficult. I'm gonna say three purple, and I'm gonna spend a story point. So 3 purple and an upgrade.
Can I spend another story point?
Yeah, you can spend one too if you want. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
And
I had
then-
2 advantage from. Oh no, I spent those. Never mind.
Yeah, you spent those. But the lie is coming from you directly, so it's just it's just on you to make the roll.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Good shapes, good shapes.
Oh, well, that's
yeah.
the best shape.
That's the
And
best
it still counts
shape
as
there
a
is.
success.
So
Yeah,
the
buddy.
stress,
Not
the
just a
stress,
success, but triumph.
the stress weighs on you, right? You take that threat, you take that strain.
Right.
You send the message, and there's a long pause where you're like, are they going to respond? Is the jig up? What's going on? And then the reply is, stay there. We're on the way. And that message arriving, right? When you look at the phone, you see, stay there. We're on our way. We see that. And then that's the last shot, right? Before we go to the end credits. Yeah.
I know what I'm gonna do first time we start playing again.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
Okay. So there we go. Yeah. Next episode, we'll see who is the boss of Shark. Who is Shark's boss, and what do they expect when they arrive?
Daddy Shark.
No.
Excellent. Okay, so let's do our shout outs, and then I'll hand out some XP, and then we'll go and record the post show. Let's start with Autumn. Mark, would you like to shout it out for us?
Hey, thanks for watching today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun being here with the awesome Verona crew. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, players. Thank you, JP. You can check me out. I've been streaming way more regularly. I'm actually on a regular streaming schedule on my own channel, Sherlock_Humes on Twitch. I tweet when I'm live, and my schedule for this week, I'm going to be starting up Witcher 3 on Monday. So if you want to see me come and play that for the first time, that'll be going on the next couple of weeks. I also do my own D&D show every Sunday. So tomorrow, if you want some more RPG goodness, come and watch over on High Rollers D&D on Twitch or Yogscast on Twitch at 5 p.m. UK time. It's getting very spicy and very drama-y in our big main campaign. So if you want to come and see me absolutely wind and torture my players with cool story stuff and watch them argue with each other, come and enjoy that. And yeah, there you go.
Fantastic. Thank you. Down below Mark, it's djWheat. Marcus, take it away.
Thank you, crew, as always. Thank you, Adam. I'm glad that it wasn't a laser pistol that dispatched you earlier, and it was just a modem acting up. I I'm excited to finally get back to streaming after being laid out for a while. That's going to be happening next week. So thank you, everyone, and we will see you next time. It's always a pleasure to play for the audience and with you guys. So thanks again.
Fantastic. Thank you. We'll continue around in the circle playing Johnny. Elspeth, please, a shout out, if you will.
Hey, what's up? I'm Elspeth. You can find me at twitch.tv/Elspeth. I cast pretty much every day except for Mondays, or except when my internet is dying. Probably going to be casting tonight. I might be returning to Overwatch. It's been a while, and I'm feeling the over itch, as it were. You can also find me at Twitter at Elspeth Eastman. And yeah, there are some really cool things I'm going to get to announce in the next couple weeks. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you to chats everywhere, everyone watching. And thanks, as always, to the crew and to Rollplay and JP for having me aboard. It's always good fun.
Thanks, Elspeth. Last and almost certainly most terrifying, Vana, please.
Hello, I'm Vana. You can find me streaming 5 days a week over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Vana. That's Vana. You can find me on Twitter, where you can keep up to date on all the stuff and things. Havanarama, Havana. All right, MA. Yeah, the video game I'm doing VO for, Cook Serve Delicious 3, is going to be out by the end of the month. You can add it to your Steam wish list right now, so you can make sure not to miss it. And then I'm GMing a one-shot for Pirates of Salt Bay this Tuesday, 8 p.m. PST over on Saving Throw Show. That should be the 14th. And then I'm also going to be GMing a little something here on the Rollplay near the end of this month. So tune in for that. And I've got a YouTube, and you can try and figure out how to find that. But thanks so much for today. So much fun.
Hopefully,
glad we could do
shouldn't
2
be
weeks
hard.
in a row.
I know, we're doing so good. Cool. Thanks, everybody. As for me, you can find me on Twitter at skinnyghost or twitch.tv/Adam Coble. I host all of the stuff that I do over on my Twitch channel. The next time you are likely to see me will be right here on Tuesday for Court of Swords. But you can also find me on the D&D channel running Descent into Avernus and J Speller and Must Die. Lots of RPG stuff. I am looking very much forward to doing the next episode. This show is so much fun. You guys are great. We are going to go and record the post show. So if you're curious to see what we thought of today's episode and have some player banter, you want to check that out, go to patreon.com/rollplay. There are the various levels laid out before you there. And if you are a participant in or curious about the Verona faction turn, it has picked back up. We are back from the Christmas break, and all of the drama and chaos has begun once again. So you can check that out again over on patreon.com/rollplay. But that's it for us for this episode. We will see all of you lovely people in the audience next time. That's it. Bye, y'all. Have a good one.
Bye.